What's going on? It's your man DJ Big Mike.
It's your boy Iro.
It's your boy TJ the Mayor.
And this is Beyond the Tracks podcast.
Your podcaster's favorite podcast. Gentlemen.
Once
again, we in the building. How we doing?
Or should I say, what up, though?
What up, though? We real Detroit in this thing today, and I'm going to explain why now. We have our first guest on the Beyond the Tracks podcast. This dude is a personal friend of mine, but also somebody that I'm a big fan of. I think everybody in this room is a big fan of. Doing major things back in the day, doing major things now. We're going to get into all that stuff. I mean, he keeps a tool on deck. Why would he lie? You know what I mean?
Facts.
Listen, if I just keep, I can go on for an hour with his introduction, and I don't want to. So let's just get into it, man. Our first guest, Mr. Irrelevant, new album out now. My man, J-Nutty. What up, though?
What up, though?
What's happening, man?
Shout out to all the people that made this happen right here.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man, we're happy to have you on here, man. We talked about this a few different times when we were just messing around with the podcast before we started putting stuff out, man. I'm glad that you ended up coming through and you can make some time for us, man. So shout out, man.
No problem, man. Anytime.
Before we go any further, let's get the sponsorship out of the way. Let's do some sponsorship shout outs at the beginning. We'll do some more stuff at the end. Let's get our let's go ahead and start with you, Mike. What you got?
I always got my man JC Quality Construction. He does everything from the 2x4 to the key to the front door, from the indoor and the outdoor. And you can hit him up at 734-652-9715 and mention Beyond the Tracks podcast, and he will give you 15% off all materials. Once again, that's JC Quality Construction. Hit him up.
And as always, man, we are brought to you by 8 Mile Vodka. Check them out. They have a big announcement that they just launched. It's yesterday to us, but by the time the podcast comes out, it'll be about a week. But so they're affiliated with Born in Detroit. They just launched their website, their new website. It is borndetroit.store. So go get your merch. They got everything from pint glasses and shot glasses to T-shirts, hoodies, all that type of stuff. So you owe us $5. So yeah, shout out to 8 Mile Vodka. Also, we have a new sponsorship and a new shout out today. Rome, go ahead. Hit us with that. Hit us with that new company, man.
Man, this is the good people at lbjean.com. It's the watch store. Check them out.
Okay, you just want to throw it up one time?
Man,
you don't want to throw it up one time? You trying to be light with it, man. But I see it out the corner of my eye the whole show.
I'm a watch guy though, man. Check out the website, man. That's all.
He got his own little watch deal.
Watch line going
got
on.
a little something going on.
Trying to grow, trying to be like you, bro.
We're all trying to be like J-Nutty when we grow up.
Yeah, man. I'm a watch guy, man. I'm heavy in the watches, man. Okay. Heavy in the watches. Check me out, man.
Hey, Jay, if you could shout out your new venture that you got going on. We'll get into the music stuff and everything, but before we do that, I want to know about your new venture. Just go ahead and plug it.
Okay, well, we got a social club dispensary, Sticky Icky Detroit. It's on 18560 Conant in Detroit, between Nevada and 7 Mile on the east side. We doing big things. We got grade A maintenance over there. Then, NBC is Millionaire by Choice, fresh off the block. That's the label. So we doing a lot of different things out of that one building, but it's all music orientated and, cannabis orientated. Shout out to my partner, MD, Terry, the tall man, and Ari and Big Ron. They the people that help make it happen. Like while I'm doing this, they are there at the building making it happen. So give them a shout out. But we have Ari on site the majority of the times for the women that want to come down, because a lot of the women that go through menstrual cramps and stuff like that, she knows what actual strand or what edible is good for that. So that's why we have her on site. So she's a partner too.
That's what's up.
Yeah, dope.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So that's a social club.
It's a social club dispensary for the VIP people. When you get your membership, you VIP. You can come in there at any time and sit and enjoy the festivities. If we actually 3 days out the week we have food catered, so you can partake in that. You can sit and you want to just enjoy your edible, feeling.
I'm there.
You can sit there and chill out.
I'm there.
It makes sense. I mean, Rome, that's right up your alley.
I'm there.
Right.
Listen, if we go to the bar and sip,
It's on.
you know what I mean, right? Because we drink alcohol. I mean, what the smokers do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same type
It's
of
the
shit like
same
this.
thing.
Absolutely.
That's
Same
dope.
thing.
Yeah,
And actually, after 8 o'clock, after business hour, you are allowed to come in there with your if you wanted to sip. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, BYOB.
Man,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
what's
there,
up.
bro.
I don't smoke, but I'm
we might
coming
definitely
through.
check that out, man.
Yeah.
Grown up.
When is this? What's the hours?
the hours right now we open 24/7.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I was
we open
going
24/7. So, you're welcome to, whenever y'all down in Detroit, like on the weekend, y'all partying or whatever. You leave the casino, you can call me and say, "Hey Jay, I'm going over there." Blah blah blah, and you know, I got security on site at all times. We're gonna make sure you get to your car safe. My camera's stretched far up and down Conant, so
Shit, that's what's up,
yeah.
man. That sounds dope. I'm there. I might have to come out of smoking retirement.
Whoa.
Yeah, I might have to come out of smoking retirement.
Oh man,
You got babies. You got babies, bro.
Okay, just one gummy. You know what? No. But so
Just
so
one
before,
gummy?
There you go. You can do
So
it
before we
edible.
started, James put me onto this. He said that he's got chili cheese Fritos, which is my favorite chips. He's got chili cheese Frito, infused chili cheese Frito chips.
That's a win-win.
I can fuck with that, right?
Infused with cannabis?
yeah.
That's a win-win.
Oh, man.
I got
I'm
chili.
gonna be high.
I also got Doritos. I also got the hot Cheetos. I also have the Takis, the them hot things, and then I got everything, man.
That's wild.
So
but I love
you
it.
taking care of the munchies
Right.
At the same
before the
time,
munchies
and-
even kick in.
That's
Yeah,
a W.
Right.
exactly.
Yeah. Y'all got it going on down there. I
Yeah.
gotta fuck with that.
Yeah, come down there, man, and you're always welcome. Y'all, well, since y'all welcome me with open arms, y'all always welcome with open arms, man. And y'all first round on me, so.
Ah, man, I appreciate that,
I'm gonna
man.
have a story to tell. I'm gonna have a story to tell.
I'm
Nutty had us down there.
I would say
eating
I'm kind
weed
of scared
Doritos.
because I like to eat. I don't necessarily get high, but I like to eat, and I might grab the wrong Fritos or that could be dangerous.
This shit's good. And you just keep
only in the
going.
D.
Yeah, you would
Nutty
know
had us
you would
down
know
there
it when somebody
Cheetos.
crack a joke and you can't stop laughing and you trying to figure out.
Well, see,
Like it wasn't even that funny,
bro.
man.
That's why I don't smoke, because this is my go through when I smoke. This is what happens every time. I smoke. I laugh uncontrollably for about a half hour. I eat uncontrollably for about an hour. Then I go to bed.
Okay. Right.
That's actually doesn't sound bad.
bad. That's like a good
Right
thing.
now,
but,
like,
but
on
if
my
we,
age,
if
I
we
feel like that
started
doesn't
at,
sound
if we
bad.
started at like 4 o'clock, it's a wrap.
Yeah. Well, that's you might only need to do it on Sundays then.
Yeah, he don't smoke.
Hey,
On Sundays.
that could work. That could work. I'm with it.
That I tried to do the when I started smoking again for a little bit. I tried to do the sativa indica type deal, but I'm such a lightweight, and this new fucking weed is so crazy that like it didn't matter if it was a sativa or indica. The shit was knocking me the fuck out.
You gotta be conditioned for this weed now.
That's what I'm saying. I was looking for regular weed and I couldn't find regular weed. I was disappointed. I sounded
Ain't no
like an
regular
old
weed
grumpy
no
old
more.
Well,
man.
I'm a sativa guy, so I know. Like if you come up there, I know the sativas that because I'm not an indica guy at all. So the sativas that I smoke, I still can function and I still can move around because I be trying to be on top of the business side of it and paying attention to everything that's going on. So I had some stuff up there called apple cherry gelato, and it was a hybrid. It's a hybrid, and I smoked that. And bro, what I'm telling you, I wrote like 3 raps. I did everything. I was on the phone and I was setting up business moves. And my daughter, I was helping her with her stuff. And it was like I was like an octopus, bro. I felt so good after I did it because it's like normally if I would have smoked just a indica, it's a wrap. I'm down for the count.
Right.
I don't want to do shit. Don't call me. Don't ask me for shit. I'm not going nowhere. But this sativa there, well, it's actually a hybrid. But that one was good. I was able to function.
A lot of the sativa that I messed with was hybrid. Sour diesel was my favorite. When I was in Arizona, I would go train and box, and I could fuck with sour diesel, the distillant though, not the flower, the distillant,
okay. Yeah.
and I can go I can like focus in the ring and shit. But I didn't have no sativa one day, and I had some. It wasn't even an indica. It was a hybrid because I think it was Pineapple Express.
I love that.
I love it too, but it's just enough hybrid that it had me fucked up. I was falling off. We was doing the ropes. I'm falling off shit, man. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all got me lost. Because back in the day, like we had
Weed, huh?
green weed,
All right.
and we had brown
Weed.
weed.
Brown weed,
Yeah.
and you might have some hydro.
Right.
You
and,
bought whatever
and if you
nigga
got
sold you.
hydro, then you was rich.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, boy,
where it's more advanced
Yeah.
now
Oh, for
than
sure.
ever. You know what I mean? It's more advanced now than ever. And I'm actually it's a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm just trying to get my piece of the pie right now
Yeah, for
because
sure.
it is I know a couple of my, well, I wouldn't say they're partners, but they're just guys that I know. And you know, Chaldeans and Arabics really don't get along.
Right.
A lot of them don't get along.
A lot of people don't know that. That's
A lot of people don't know
that's
that.
a little Detroit insider, man. Because
I knew that.
Dearborn is actually the just to give the folks out there
Capital,
listening,
pretty much.
it's just a little fun fact that Dearborn is the biggest capital of Middle Eastern per capita, biggest Middle Eastern population outside of the Middle East is in Dearborn, Michigan, which is part of Detroit.
Yeah, and that's like a heavy Muslim thing over there. But two of the Arab guys that I know and the Chaldean that I know, they actually partnered up.
Okay.
They partnered up.
which
So
is
it's kind of like
different.
some rare stuff. I don't
Because
even
Chaldeans are Christian, right?
Catholic. Some of them are
Catholic.
Catholic. Yeah,
They're
Catholic.
Christian, yeah.
And then the other ones are, you know, the Arabics are Muslim.
Right.
But I probably shouldn't even say. Well, I ain't say their names. I probably shouldn't even say this, but the hell with it because you know I'm Muslim.
Yeah.
So they actually partnered up, bro, and put their money together, and they about to have one of the biggest dispensaries in Michigan. It's like I think it costs like $2.9 million for this building that they about to have, and it's kind of deep that the cannabis brought, you know, two
People together.
yeah. So
We talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know if they want it to be publicized like that, but I'm not speaking on who it is, but this is what they're doing to show you how big this industry is about to be and how much money is about to flourish into Detroit. We're going to be like a small California. You know what I'm saying? When everything flourish up in the next 10 years, we're going to be a small California.
That's what's up.
We were talking about that on one of our episodes. Remember, you were talking about because they DJ weddings sometimes, and the people that always are in the same room are the people that end up smoking together. You don't have to know somebody. I think this was your quote. I think correct me if I'm wrong, but you said, "I've never smoked with an enemy."
Right. That's exactly what I said.
You know what I mean? But you still gain friends.
I said, anybody you've ever met and y'all smoked together, next time you see him, oh, that's cool. That's my man.
That's your man.
That's my guy.
Excuse me,
That dude had that fire. You know what I mean?
Right.
You say he had that sativa.
Right. Nutty gonna owe like
I know,
$4,000
man.
by
I
the end of the
apologize.
Oh yeah,
We
I didn't even tell him. I didn't even tell him the rules.
Okay, yeah, you got to give me a room.
But I mean, every time your phone goes off, that's $5 in a pot. I'm gonna let the first 2 or 3 go because we just explained it to you, and that would be unfair. But I know you got it, so we gonna set the bar now.
Well, maybe
We shouldn't say 10.
Maybe I shouldn't have told you.
5. That's my man.
Okay.
That's my man.
We do 5.
We're gonna do 5. So one thing I want to get into, man, since we got a few MCs in here now. We got a DJ and now we got a few MCs, man. And I in this room, the person that has made it the farthest doing the MC is Nutty.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And one thing I wanted to talk about, man, is because we all have different ways that we approach the studio, writing a song, the whole process of it.
Mm-hmm.
All three, because I know me and you discuss it all the time. You know what I mean? Take us through because you was just talking about, you know what I mean, you wrote 3 raps when you was on your sativa. What's your process? Give the people a little inside peek.
Yeah, I can't give them the
formula?
the whole total formula of the
Just
J-
bit-
the
just
J-Nutty
bits and
method.
pieces.
But
Just
I'm gonna
bits
give
and
you
pieces.
now, depending on my mood, the sativa or whatever, I can it's all a mood for me. Every rap that I ever do is always a mood. So if I'm going through something pain wise, I don't like to go in the studio when it's like that. I don't like to do like the Tupac pain felt. I don't like to do them when I'm going through the actual pain. So what I do is that with that situation, like if I'm going through something, I'll write that rap but I won't go in the studio with it.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a little different. Yeah, right.
I might write it and say it and know it, but I don't want to go in the studio because and do that. I like to go in the studio with a good feeling because more come out of it. If I went in the studio and did that, now don't get me wrong, I've done it before, but this is my reason why I don't do it. It's more like, okay, I done that. I'm ready to go. I'm mad all over again. I don't want to be here. Well, versus I go in there and you say, hey, we got this song called Make It Rain. And then when we get done with the Make It Rain song, we're going to do Drop It Like It's Drop That Thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can do those 3 songs and get in the studio and be in there and be hype and stand there. And I can stand there while y'all record y'all songs and I'll be in there from 8 in the morning to 8 the next morning.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Shout out to Obi Trice for that kind of shit because he likes to go all fucking 2 days.
All day.
Yeah.
Do 3 to
Right.
Well, for us, when we was in there, like we didn't have a bunch of money. We didn't want to spend a bunch of money, so we said, "Listen, we're gonna book studio time. We're knocking out 3 songs in one session.
Yeah.
We get in and get out." So we was kind of like we would do pre-production. So then when we went in there, we
are ready.
It's an hour, maybe a song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We'll do the post-production later, but let's get these verses in. Yeah. But to what you were just saying, though, see, you just told me that I would have never known that because being a fan of your music and listening to you over the years. It wouldn't sound that. It would sound like you wrote that shit in the studio because you was going through that, or that was your mood or your mode at that specific time. Because, I mean, one of my favorite songs, we talk about Tools on Deck all the time. You know what I mean? But it's just the way you're projecting your voice. As an MC, I look at all that different shit, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? The way you know what I mean, did, one of my favorite Gangsters Only, right? Yeah. It was like you had that chest out, like I'm back to take what's rightfully mine, but it was just the way you projected it. It's a lot of cats, man, have great lyricism. They know how to write, but they don't know how to take it from the paper to the mic
and give you that energy.
Give you that energy.
Yeah, I get it. Actually, on Tools on Deck, I got a funny story about that song because I wasn't gonna even get on that song.
What?
I wasn't.
It's like a 7-minute song. How was J-Nutty?
And Blackface.
That's the whole Rock Bottom crew.
Blackface was like, "You're not gonna get on this song, Jason. This the one. No, this gonna be the one. You ain't gonna get on there." And I'm like, "No, I ain't gonna get on there, man. I ain't gonna fuck around," because it was only like 3 people on there at first. And I'm like, "We got a bunch of songs on here that's 4-minute long songs and 3.5 minute, 4-minute songs." I said, "We're not gonna do a whole album of every song got 5 verses on it." And he was like, "All right." And then the next day I came in there and T-Dot was on there. And when T-Dot was on there, and then they put Tone Fink on there, and I'm listening to the song, I'm like, this motherfucker is banging.
They all go. Everybody he just said, they all go.
And so I'm listening to the
Charlie
song.
Rat.
And Charlie Rat, Charlie Rat came out the booth like, you ain't gonna get on this one? And I sat there and I thought about it, and I'm like, this motherfucker is a banger. I came up with my verse right then and there. I didn't have no pen, no pad, nothing. I put it all in my head and I just went in there and did it. But it was the feeling that the energy they gave me, I fed off of. I was off my sativa.
Tools on Deck, you didn't write?
I didn't even write it. I went in there and just laid it.
Dang.
What?
Yeah,
I got
hot too.
You get the golfers.
Oh, yeah, you never get the golfers clap for that one.
I'm going to, actually, because I got in, y'all, we get in that later, but when I got indicted, I actually dropped the CD the day the feds kicked my door in, and I was never back on the street
And
again.
is that from Bootlegger's Dream?
That's from Bootlegger's Dream.
Okay,
So
that's you and Blackface.
Yeah, me and Blackface project.
So that wasn't a Rock Bottom project,
No,
right?
that was,
just an independent. You and Blackface got
Blackface.
together, even though your crew was on there.
Yeah, we just got together and said, you know what, we're gonna go in there and we're gonna vibe out. We're not gonna do the Rock Bottom structure thing, because when we did the Rock Bottom thing, the Rock Bottom, it's more kind of like you want to say creative competition. Everybody's in there trying to have the best verse. Everybody in there, you don't want Herc to murder you on the track, and you don't want Rod Day or Tango and Cash to get on you, and so you in there, everybody trying to write their best verse and they trying to do their best everything. Well, what the Bootlegger's Dream was, we gonna go in here. What I did was I booked. Here go another fun fact people don't know. The guy that did the whole Bootlegger Dream project, he actually produced 3 of Vicky Winer's albums.
Okay.
He actually produced 2 or 3 songs on CC and BB Winer's album.
Okay.
So I never give a shout out to him. His name Dylan. Shout out to Dylan. He's still in California now.
Wow. Okay, that's dope. Yeah. Shout out to him, man. That's what's up.
Yeah. His name was Dilly D. Williams. So, but
Dilly D.
yeah, that was his little Instagram thing. But he actually, cool white dude. He let me book the session where most people do 10-hour blocks. Well, with him, I had a 100-hour block.
Damn, bruh, that's what you needed.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't need 100. Yeah, because I have a. Yeah, you're right.
We used to get like 4-hour blocks.
So the deal was with the 100-hour block was I had to give him the basically 3/3 of the cash up front. But with me giving him the 3/3 of the cash up front, he was on 24-hour call.
Okay.
So this is what
Stretch say? It takes money to make money.
Yep.
I mean, money talks.
So what happened with this? The reason why the album came out so good, and people talk about this one like one of the greatest albums that we did. What happened was it kept the creative control. I told Dylan, Blackface, Calico, T-Dot, Squash, Duke, Charlie Picasso, any one of them rider, anybody who call you and they feel like getting in there, you got to open up for them.
Let them up in there.
So,
see, that's what's up right there, man.
So this way, with the Rock Bottom thing, it was like I said, it was more like a structure. We in the booth, blah blah blah. Everybody get up here, even when I wasn't rapping on a song or I wasn't laying a verse or nothing. We all would just be in there,
right?
And it was like this set time we gonna be in here from 3 in the afternoon to 3 in the morning. Yeah. Well, with this, by him being on 24-hour call, Blackface, when he laid his song about the Feds, I can't remember the name of the song, about the Feds picking him up and everything.
Is that 100 bars? No, what was his? Was that a solo? You talking about a solo one?
His solo one.
His solo one on.
Well, he said, "Damn, man." He said, "Damn, the Feds done hit about 10 houses." Yep. He was going through an emotional part on that song, because he knew the day was closing in on.
Right.
So he got up and wanted to go lay that at 3 in the morning when he felt it without us doing the party, drink thing, girls in the studio.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And that's why that album came out so dope, because it wasn't no structured time.
It was off
I
inspiration.
woke up 5 in the morning and walking around the house and vibing like I'm going to lay this.
Right.
See, that's so important, man. That's so important, because if you can do that and be in that mindset and do that shit like that you know how the disconnect we talk about all the time. 9 in the morning, we rolling up to Roseville. Shout out to Kevin Holliver, Underground Production. Sure. You know what I mean? We up in Roseville at 9 in the morning. I'm like, dog, I don't have the midnight energy no more.
Exactly.
It's 9 in the morning now.
It's 9 in the morning.
You know what I mean? That's the difference. We were talking about the difference of the couple studios we mess with. When I go to Harvey Beaver's studio, it was late a little bit different because, we don't start recording until midnight, and I was a young man. That's what young men do. But
the difference is, though, we was recording like it was a business, meaning we needed that product. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so we had a time.
We were on the clock.
Right, we was on the clock.
It was that feel.
We
wasn't
really creating off inspiration. Now we would be inspired at home and write, and like he said, pre-produce.
Except for the one,
Except
for the one, me, Bricks, Adina did, and Geese did the MCing on. That was spur of the moment. That was one of the rerun. This is one of the best songs we made.
Yeah,
because that was on that.
But we was also on, like you said, we ran it as a business because
we needed that
I only had a certain amount of time.
Right.
It just so happens we had extra time because somebody else is in the studio, so we was in that second studio doing something.
I mean, if we was on Nutty's level, we could just do 100-hour block.
100-hour block, right?
And come in when
we would come out with about 20 albums.
But let me ask you though, how did Tools on Deck come about then? Was it a day thing where everybody just ended up coming in there that day, or was it like over the time of that 100 hours and different, and you just threw a bunch of verses together?
Well, no, like on the Tools on Deck, when what I would do, and to be honest with you, I wasted a lot of hours. So on nights where we party and we leave a strip club and it's 3 in the morning and we don't nobody got nothing to do, and I just call Dylan and say open up, and we go up there and I just play the album for people or girls we pull from the club or people we pull from the club. We going up to the studio and they'll come, and sometimes it was just a listening session and I play shit. That's how Tone Finkel ended up getting on it, because Tone Finkel like, I got something for that right now. I do this right now. So he went in there and got on his shit. So every time we would play that song, people was like, can I get on this one? I got something for that right now. So that's why Blackface kept saying like, you not gonna get on this, Jay?
Yeah.
And what happened was, after we did that, playing that song and so many people got on it, we like it's gonna be an anthem. Shout out to my dude Cole who did the beat. I just left him in California. He did that beat and he gave me that beat. He gave me that track. He didn't charge me for it. And,
did it already have the clearance on it?
Yeah, he already did that. He had that already.
Because if you don't know, go check out. You can YouTube it right now. It's called Tools on Deck.
Lil Wayne on it.
It's Lil Wayne on the hook.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he gave me that beat, and a real good dude. He's down in California right now, popping right now. He's big down there now, and he gave me that track, and when he gave it to me, I was like, oh yeah, it's good. You know, it's a good track. But when it morphed into what it ended up morphing into, Dr. Darius called me on the phone and said, you know, Jay, we need to talk. And I always get mad about this whole story because I feel like I missed the window of opportunity. He called me. He said, you know what, Jay, we got to talk. I said, okay, when you want to hook up? He said, we're going to hook up, let's hook up Thursday. And I said, all right. Boom. I go down to the radio station. And he said, he getting off. I said, well, we're going to do it another time. He said, no, I want to talk to you outside, off the air. We're going to go to my house. So we go down to his house. At the time, he had an apartment off the riverfront. We go to his house and we sit and we kick in. And I said, what's going on? What's up? He said, listen, what you want to do with Tool on Deck? I said, what you mean what I want to do? I want you to go ahead and throw it in the rotation. And he was like, no, I'm saying, like, do you really want to go with this? You really want to run with this one? I said, yeah. You know, what you saying? What you want me to do? He said, this what happened. He said, I got an opportunity right now. He said, Ace Hood is not doing the numbers up here in the Midwest like they want him to. He was like, so in return, they're going to spend in Miami and down south, Miami, Texas, they're going to spend whatever I send them for the return of Ace Hood. I'm going to pump Ace Hood up here, and they're going to pump whoever I want down that way. Mm-hmm. He said, but this the catch. You got to go down to Miami, and you're going to go down in that whole little region, and you might do about 30 shows. Mm-hmm. They're going to be free shows. You're not going to get paid for it. Mm-hmm. He said, but it's going to be, once you do that, you're going to be known all down there. He's going to be on from that point on. He said, but I'm going to run with Tools on Deck. So at the time, I'm selling so much dope. To be honest with you.
Talk about it. We transparent on here. Right. We can talk about it.
I'm selling so much dope. And all I'm thinking about is he going to run with Tools on Deck. He going to pump Tools on Deck. So we got to go down here, and I got to do 30 fucking shows down here in this little down south area. And I got to take everybody that's on Tools on Deck with me.
Right.
Ooh, I didn't think about that. Yeah. It's a lot of overhead.
That's a lot of overhead. And we doing free shows.
Right.
It comes out of your pocket and, I'm assuming blackface.
Blackface too. So we got to take everybody down here. I can't say, hey, we going to Miami and we going to stay down in Miami. Then we going to go over we going to move all down in that little region. Right. And y'all got to pay for y'all own shit.
Right.
We doing free shows. We basically on tour for free.
Right.
I got to compensate. If nothing else, pay for the room and board and the food.
Right.
Right.
We going to do this for 30 fucking shows. And all I'm thinking is, while I'm down here, we got to go in the strip club. I got to do it like I got to do it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I got to little meet you.
And you, yeah, I was about to say, Detroit's down in Miami. Yeah. What else you going to do?
I got to little meet you. So all I'm thinking, I'm doing the numbers. Like I tell you, I always do numbers. And I'm thinking like, man, I'm going to go down here, man, and I'm going to spend 90 fucking thousand. This is what I really was thinking. I'm like, I'm going to spend 90 fucking thousand going down here and staying down in that little region for 30 fucking shows and going in the clubs and promoting and throwing money and all that shit. And while I'm down here spending this 90 fucking thousand, I'm going to be missing about another 40,000 up here in Detroit. I can't do it. And I didn't do it.
And you didn't go.
And I didn't do it. And next thing you know, when I dropped the album, 4 months later, the feds was kicking in my door. And they had 4 boxes of CDs, and they talking shit, and they like, yeah, you a rapper, you really had to live what you was living, and you really was selling dope. And all I kept thinking right then when I was handcuffed is, Dr. Darius gave me that fucking opportunity, and I didn't take it.
And probably at the same time, Ace Hood was we the best in it up
Yeah.
with Khaled and getting
Right.
the name. I mean,
Yeah.
for real. And no disrespect to Ace Hood. I like Ace Hood, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? At the same time, you.
So shout out to
You went
Dr.
there,
Darius
but-
for even giving me the opportunity, and I didn't take it. I don't know, how you feel about that. I talked to him once since I've been home, but that was a big mistake that a life lesson that I learned at that time. Stuck in a drug dealer mentality and stuck in that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even realize that I was stuck in that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know how they say, well, you stuck in a, you think like that. I didn't even realize at that point that I was doing the drug numbers
Right.
instead of thinking like this your opportunity to make it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Long
I mean?
term.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time. We, especially us as black people, we always thinking of right now.
Yeah.
We're always thinking of right now.
Yeah.
If we just take a few minutes to think of what's going to happen in 2 years or 5 years or 10 years, our decisions change.
And in game.
Just like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just run through real quick the whole Rock Bottom crew.
Okay, the Rock Bottom crew originally is consisted of J-Nutty, Big Hurt, Tango and Cash, Screwface, T-Dot, B-Boy, Flame Tongue, Miss Nia, and
Was Blackface the original?
Blackface.
Okay.
Like, it's hard dog.
Right. That's why I wanted you to do it. But I didn't want to do it because I knew I would fuck it up.
Blackface and Tiana, Miss Kim, and that's it. That's it.
And Rock headed
Rock
it all
is
up.
the CEO.
Right.
Rock is the CEO.
Is the CEO. Matter of fact, shout out to Rock's sister. That's still one of the best Easters ever.
Oh,
She made all them
yeah,
Easter baskets for me.
Kiki, Kiki
Yeah,
made the
she
Easter
was
basket.
dope.
And what the Rock Bottom thing was, originally, it was Rock. He already had Tango and Cash. He was already trying to push them, and he came up with the idea saying, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a compilation album, and it's gonna have a person from every hood on there.
Mm-hmm.
And all the people that we think can spit out of Detroit, we're gonna put one from every hood on there. Oh, Boo and Pug. Boo and Pug was,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I forgot about them. So Boo was actually Rock's real cousin, they blood cousins. They was from 7 Mile, 7 Mile Naturals. They was from 7 Mile. Blackface from Brightmo. Tango is from Dexter. Cash from Highland Park. Me and Hurt from Woodrow Wilson. Flame Tongue was from Van Dyke. I brought Flame Tongue on.
That was your Woodrow Wilson and Van Dyke days. Is that how you
Right,
fuck with him?
Right. So yeah.
We'll get into that later too.
we
Yeah,
can
the
go
whole
into that.
yeah.
So
Man, you mentioned a lot of Detroit, for me, Detroit legends.
yeah,
Yeah.
You
these
know.
guys are legends. These guys all
Yeah.
still spit right now.
Yeah.
And before it was from Linwood Dexter, and T-Dot was from Linwood Dexter, and at the time we had a guy named Chris Budd. Rest in peace to Chris Budd, because he was from 12th Street, and he was on the album. He died like a couple years ago. He was on the album, and it was basically a plethora of everybody from all these different neighborhoods. And the first album that we did was From the Bottom Up, and that album was out the trunk. Everybody selling it, we pumping it, boom, and it was the new thing to do.
Right.
Everybody went crazy over it, like, oh man, y'all, blah, blah, blah. And it kind of forged us into a group.
Okay.
Me and Hurt and Charlie Picasso and Thrust, we was our own group from Woodrow Wilson. We was
So when it came about, it wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to be a compilation, of Detroit.
of Detroit and somebody from every hood.
Okay.
And because we was already doing we was called the Rats. We was called the Rebels Against the System back then. Me, Hurt.
Is that where the name Charlie Rat comes from?
Right.
Okay.
That's where his name Charlie.
I always
Rat
wonder
come from.
where the Charlie Rat, because
Yeah.
it's Charlie Picasso.
Right, because we was Charlie, Thrust, and Hurt all from Woodrow Wilson. We grew up on Woodrow Wilson, so we was back then when we was young, we was called the Woodrow Rats, and it stood for like we was grimy, we was we was like low down dirty. It wasn't like about no snitching shit back then.
Right.
So and then the Rats was acronym for we was raw ass teenage soldiers, and then we was raw ass treacherous soldiers. Then we started rapping. We was the rebels against the system. It was like always meant something.
Yeah.
So, but now the rat thing is so big, so we kind of like straight, you know, we don't really use that. But Charlie Rat still use it because it's embedded in him. You know what I'm saying? So we was already our own group. Chris Bud was already doing his own group. You know what I'm saying? Tango and Cash was already their own group. Screwface, I don't know if I mentioned him, but Screwface was from Joy Road. So he was doing his own thing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was already doing their own little music thing. That's how, you know, rock knew about us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then when that actually flourished, it kind of forged us into a group because the chemistry just was there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we was all making money doing, you know what I'm saying? It was like a melting pot. You know what I'm saying? I can come to the studio and Screwface there, and I get a call and say, hey, man, I need some 10 pounds. Screw, you got some pounds? Or no, call Blackface. He got them.
Right.
Like, I need 10 pounds. Oh, okay. But, and it was like we was all networking and making money together. And, and we just, you know, we got tighter and closer. And by us doing shows, we got, you know, a lot of bar fights, a lot of, you know, we had a real
Y'all was like a fraternity in a sense.
Yeah.
A street fraternity.
Go ahead.
No, that's all I'm saying
So nobody was, quote, signed to say Rock Bottom.
Tango and Cash was signed.
Okay.
Tango and Cash was signed.
That was it.
That was it.
Okay.
We were just like word of mouth. We became friends, and we became like, you know, we with the movement.
Okay.
Right.
But, you know, the actual paperwork didn't never have to get signed until Eminem, you know, came about. And Eminem like, well, we gonna ink, you know, let's do a one album deal with Tango and Cash, and then we can see if we go into the big distribution deal. That's what M wanted to just put Tango and Cash out. Let's get a run for it, and if it blow,
come back.
Let's renegotiate and get a distribution deal. And Proof would be the would you say the overseer of the project,
right?
And then it'll shoot Proof name up as
almost
like
the AR.
A&R. He'd be the lyric corn of it.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Proof discovered this group. And I think M did that, so if it didn't make it, it wouldn't be a blemish on M.
Right.
Right. So it's not
be like, well, Proof tried something or a venture and it didn't work, or this group he found and it didn't work. That's my personal opinion. I don't know, you know, if that's what it was, but and then we was gonna, at the time when they inked that deal, we had a bidding war. You know, it was Irv Gotti, Murder Inc. wanted to sign us. You know what I'm saying? It was Murder Inc., Eminem, and not Sony. I think about it. It was another big label. They wanted. It was like, damn, we were trying to like make it into a bidding war. You know what I'm saying? But Universal.
It was. I was about to say Universal, right? Because because what's his name? Paul or I remember you mentioning Paul Rosenberg.
Right. Well, yeah. Paul Rosenberg, Wendy Day.
Because he was with Universal, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Paul Rosenberg, Wendy Day, all these big famous people. I end up meeting them, and I end up taking her out to dinner. You know what I'm saying? It was a joke. Everybody was saying that I was trying to fuck my way into the deal, but it wasn't that. It was
it's different because usually in a deal they're trying to fuck you.
Right. Yeah. So it was like, because what happened was Rock was busy and he like, yo, I need you to pick up Wendy from the airport. I'm like, who the fuck is Wendy? He like, Wendy Day. She the one that got Cash Money They deal, and she the one that helped, you know, Master P. And I'm like, oh, okay. I go pick her up. It wasn't no big thing. And then I go pick her up from the airport, and then I said, I'm gonna take her to get something to eat. So I took her to J. Alexander because that's my spot. I love, you know, she was like, oh, okay. We sat there and we talked, and it was a big old thing. My wife at the time was like, well, you out with this woman? I'm like, this bitch is, if I do fuck somebody, she's the one. That's the one.
Right.
That's the
one. If I got to step out,
Yeah.
this is probably going to be the one that you want me to do it with.
So you better suck it up.
She got the pen and the paper and the bank account.
But,
let's go.
And then it ended up working out because I learned a lot, you know, how shit works, how, you know, fucking around with us as a group, as a whole, we learned a lot about the industry. And we moved in a certain, like me and Blackface and me and her, our relationships became closer than me and others, but we was all a big family, you know what I'm saying? And we got into a big old bar brawl with the Cheddar Boys. That big old.
Talk about it.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what? I was
story.
about to say,
Now,
I
that's a
want
story.
to, right, when you finish with this, that's one thing I want to do. I do want to get into while we're here is because I'm from that era. You know what I mean? I'm a little bit younger than y'all, but I'm from that era where the end of it, I think, was probably around KDZ time.
Yeah.
But leading up to that, Cheddar Boys, Blade Icewood, Rock Bottom, like all that shit. That is that Detroit.
That's where that Detroit sound
Hip
was
hop,
made. To me,
rap.
Yeah,
To me, that's
where that
sure.
Detroit sound
It's the
was
style that
formed
never
and originated.
went around the world.
And when you hear rappers from Detroit now, that's what I hear. I still hear y'all influences. I still hear,
for sure.
Well, you know, and to be honest with that, shout out to Peasy. That's my brother.
Yeah, Peasy's got a track with you on
On the
Irrelevant.
album. He got a track on me on the album, but we vibe on so many different other levels. You know what I'm saying? He's a man of his word. You know, people done tried to, you know, tarnish his name and try and put some chinks in his armor. But to me, out of everybody, Babyface Ray grew up with us. So you know what I'm saying? I knew him since before he was even rapping. But me and Peasy then connected on so many different levels. Like, you know what I'm saying? If he tell me he gonna do something, he do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And he always paid homage, and he always told me, like, dog, I wouldn't be, you know, I'm eating off this shit, and I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for y'all. You know, y'all kind of paid the way. It's like, and when he do that, I always wanted to tell LL Cool J that. I always wanted to say that to LL or Ice-T, like,
right.
bro, if it wasn't for y'all, I didn't want to. LL Cool J made me want to rap. Run DMC made me want to rap. Ice-T made me want to rap. So I always wanted to tell that to them. So when he said to me, he don't understand how big it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that, like, when I called him, asked him to do the song on the album, he said, "Say less. You don't owe me nothing. You know, for you, Nutty, I'm gonna do this." When I told my daughter want to meet you, he said, "Say less, bro. Where she at? I'm gonna pull up." Same thing with Babyface Ray and you know, and Rocky B, and you know, my daughter Sweet 16, GT came, Babyface Ray, Rocky B, Big Herc, Stretch Money, Young Herc, DJ G Raw, DJ BJ, they all came and showed love, and I like that. You know, on call, they just did it. You know what I'm saying?
And I think you speak to it on, is it Old School? Is that the song you speak to it on? There's Old School and there's something else where you speak on, I think you start off by saying, these niggas don't want to pay homage, what?
Oh, that's on the first to the third.
Yeah.
First to the third,
Yeah.
And then you go to Old School, and it's so in
I listened to Ice-T
so
and
first
Ice-Cube.
first and the third, you telling these young cats like you don't pay homage to us, like you know, these cats like talking about the Jordan, you don't study your predecessors.
Yeah,
I think
you don't study their predecessors.
and then on Old School, it's actually that song's actually you giving it up to your predecessors and the people that came before you.
Exactly.
And that's what I was talking about. Like, that's one of the songs I was telling you about. That to me, like, that's already a classic in my
Old
head.
School?
Yeah, that's
Old School is
that's
dope.
already a classic in my, like.
You're talking about the rings and you know what I mean, the 4-finger rings and shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, that's a classic. Cousin's Day classic.
Thanks, bro.
That's gonna be.
Y'all make me feel good.
We bumping that.
Cousin's Day, that's his shit. That's
Oh,
Big Mike shit right
bruh.
there.
Cousin Day.
Cousin's Day.
Man, when I first heard that, let me tell you. I'm gonna tell you the first time I heard that. T hit me up, and he was like, "Hey man, Nutty's album dropped." I'm like, "Oh, that's what's up." I was getting ready to cut the grass. I said, "All right." So I jump on my phone. You know what I mean? Like, scroll through, boom, purchase it. I'm waiting for it to download. I put it in. I'm mowing the grass, whole thing, right? Every track, I'm kind of like, okay, all right. I ain't gonna lie, man. It got to Cousin's Day, and I was just like, brrr. What is it? Listen to the whole joint, and then I didn't realize until recently that was your daughter.
Yeah,
Because
shout
I
out
was
to
like,
her.
who the hell
Power
is
Move.
this?
Shout out to
I was
Power
like,
Move
this
J.
girl is spit.
Yeah.
Power Move J is on that track spitting, man.
I was like, and she sounded like she was about 8. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Power Move J.
But I was like, oh, that's fire.
She write her own raps, man. This
Yeah.
girl is. Shout out to her. Go on her website. She got a disparate mentality, and this her own design, her own idea, her own everything. She's just such a brilliant, smart kid. Like sometimes get caught up, and I have to call her and say,
Right.
Jada, what to do? You know, for real. And that's being honest. She's 17. She'll be 18 next month. But she, disparate mentality, cannot be compared.
Okay.
And
Nice.
her website, go on her website, she has jogging suits, waist trainers, and she got plush eyelashes. She sells. She's actually doing good on her own. She's a young CEO.
Okay.
And but Cousin Day, what make Cousin Day so brilliant is I got a cousin, shout out to Van Dyke P. He told me, he said, you know what? I always wanted you to do that beat, man. That Lovely Day beat.
Mm-hmm.
I said, yeah,
Shout out to, what is that? That's Bill Withers, right?
Yeah.
Bill Withers, yeah.
I said, I always wanted to do it, and I'm going to do it now. He said, you got to do it. And he like, yeah, listen to it. And he sent me the beat. He'd send me, every time it come on, he would call my phone, like, you bullshit. You bullshit. You supposed to be doing this.
Yeah.
I want to hear you on this. So I went to my, I got to give him a shout out. Shout out to Dub Music, the producer who helped produce the whole album. I be forgetting to do a lot of that, and people, you know, I get a lot of backlash about it.
Yeah.
You know, I never shout out Trick Trick. Trick Trick did the Gangsters Only beat. A lot
Oh,
of people
no
didn't know
shit.
that. Yeah, and I always forget to do that. and
Trick
say
Trick
that.
did the
Well,
Gangsters
listen,
Only
we are a
beat.
shout out podcast.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
we shout the fuck out of people.
Man.
But you know what? It's because it seems like every podcast there's something about Trick Trick that comes up that somebody didn't know.
Didn't
But like
know.
I didn't know that. Like I think last podcast he didn't know about that shake that make that booty
Yeah.
bounce.
Oh,
He
that
didn't
was-
know
that
that
was
was
him?
Trick. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, that's my brother, man, and he did Gangsters Only beat. You know,
Okay.
he's still my brother. I call him for anything. He gonna come. He gonna do it. He actually he told me, he said, whatever Jada got going on, I'm a part of it.
That's what's up.
She spit for him. I took her to the studio with him. She spit for him, and she had a rap. She said a rap that I didn't even know. Normally, I know all her stuff. I call her and I mess with her, like, you know, give her a lyrical exercise every so often. I call her. I say, hey, what you got for me? And she be like, Daddy, I be like, give me something. And she'd just go. Well, this time, I was like, I need you to spit for Trick. You know what I'm saying? She was like, I always wanted to meet Trick, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, he gonna ask you to spit. She's like, all right. And she went in there and he asked her to spit. And she said a rap that I hadn't heard. And she said something, the line that caught him and me, she was like something about being on somebody's playlist and why they up on, when they get up and they on Instagram, she up on Dow Jones for the day shift or something like that.
Okay.
And
All right.
he like, stop right there.
And that's Nutty's daughter. That's Nutty's daughter.
He like,
Right.
stop right there. He said, do you motherfuckers hear what she said? You
Sound like you
because
too.
we was on his podcast, and he like, you hear what she said? She said, she on Dow Jones, motherfucker, and he going crazy, and he like, bro, that, you know, he was like, I didn't know she was going to give me something like that. He thought it was going to be just an average rap. Shout out to her. She write her own raps. I never write for her. Never wrote for it. You know, we all got a thing where you might get stuck on a line and you help somebody out. But I never wrote none of her raps. She write her own raps. And back to Cousin Day, when I went to Dub Music and told Dub, this the beat I want to do. I want to do the Cousin Day beat. So he gave me he cleared the vocals out and actually kind of replayed a little bit. Gave me the raw track. And I ride around. You know, I don't really sit down and when I'm writing because I'm doing so much. So I'm riding around, I'm listening to Cousin Day, and I'm coming up with my rap. I'm thinking like, how I'm gonna say my family name in this. I ain't gonna be able to fit everybody in it.
By the way, before you go any further, not to cut you off, but I just got to know this: do you Jay-Z it or do you write it?
I Jay-Z'd.
Hey, no, because we always had a debate. So I called him a Jay-Z, and he automatically knew what I was talking about. But yeah, he Jay-Z.
I Jay-Z'd.
Okay. Anyway,
I think he think I don't like Jay-Z for some reason.
And if you listen on Bootlegger's Dream on Fuck 'Em If They Ain't the Crew, I say in the beginning of the song, I Jay-Z'd everything up to here.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Where the big thing about that is blackface. I'm gonna get into that after I tell you about the Cousin Day.
Yeah. Let's go back to Cousin
So
Day.
Cousin Day, I'm riding around and I'm putting the raps together and I'm putting it in my head and blah blah blah. And then my daughter called me. She said, "Daddy, what you doing?" I said, "Nothing." She said, "I miss you. You know, I want to kick it with you." So I pull up on her and I say, "Yeah, listen to this one. Listen to this beat." And she listened to it and I'm like, she's like, I like that beat. Daddy, I like that beat. And she said, "What you gonna do today?" I said, "It's gonna say, instead of lovely day, it's gonna say Cousin's Day. And then I said my rap to her. And she said, You gotta let me get on that. You gotta let me get on that, Daddy.
Right now.
She hit you with the,
Right
I
now.
got something for
I
that
got something
right
for that
now.
Right
She's like, you
now.
gotta let me get on that. You gotta let me get on that. And I said, Jada, I said, I'm doing this and I'm putting this on my album. You can't be playing now.
Mm.
You're gonna have to be serious. Because when I'm ready to go lay it, I'm gonna be ready to go lay it. She said, I'm gonna be ready. Man, when she came to the studio, she did not let me hear the rap. None before she went and laid it. When she went in the studio and laid that rap, everybody that was outside was going crazy, like, and Dub and them didn't even know, like, my cousins, little cousins. See, what I did, I named, like, my cousins, aunties, and uncles.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she named her uncles and her cousins her age.
Mm-hmm.
When she say, Uncle Keep on the grill, that's my brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When I say
Right.
rest in peace to my uncle, I'm talking about my uncle. So she
Mhm.
basically
Yeah.
did her part.
So it's
her
two,
way.
it's a
Yeah,
two
yeah.
generation
Two
song.
generation
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
That's dope.
That's dope.
So when she did it, and I was like, what the fuck? This girl got it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I was like, I got to shoot the video. I got to shoot the video. I got to shoot the video. We got to shoot the video. So I got all my cousins together. I had banners made, and I shot the video.
I was gonna ask you that. Was those your people?
Yeah, all of them was my cousin. That's not all of us.
Right.
My grandma had 14 kids.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? And it's only like one auntie that don't have no kids.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So in the actual video, the Cousin Day video, the pussy motherfucker who shot the video, he shot the video and he did the video, recorded, and he sent it to me in 720. And he said, I just want you to look over it and tell me what you like, what you don't like, what you think I can do, whatever.
Right.
He sent me the video, and I looked at it, and I'm like, yeah, you got to do a little bit more effects. Just give me a little bit more effects in it, but I love it. I love everything that it is. Well, somebody ended up calling him in Atlanta to go shoot a video, make some big money in Atlanta. And he never got back with me to give me the 1080 version. He never did the edits. He cut his phone off. And I can't get in touch with him. Like I done told him his own and all kind of shit. I told him I see him, it's on site. Bitch, you know I
went back to
I
Nutso?
be coming down to Atlanta.
You told him that you got tools on deck.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Like, dude, you know I don't just be rapping. You know why they call me Little Big Man. You know I'll fuck you over, boy. So he never shot it to me. So everybody like, what a video? My cousin's like, what a video? And I'm like, I gotta put out what I got.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I put it out, and some people call me like, it's showing blurry, and it ain't showing clear like it was, and I'm like, what could I do?
Right.
But
I mean, you can go back because it's so dope. It's not gonna be one of them. Oh well, that was last summer joints.
No, I can do it.
Like you
I
can go
redo it.
back and do it again. When I first heard Cousins Day, because you shot out all the streets and everything, and I know your thing is on Conant, but we got a Conant here in Monroe.
Oh, yeah.
And it reminded the last time we kind of got together with our Monroe fam over at Aunt Deb Rand's house in the corner there for 4th of July. But it really brought me back to over by your hood. So our peoples lived over by y'all. We used to stay over in Burlingame between Dexter and Livernois.
oh, y'all did.
Yeah, and that was where my aunt stayed at.
I had a paper out on Burlingame.
Yeah.
That's where we used to go for all of our family functions and everything. And I want to say our other uncle lived over off of maybe Vaughn and Schoolcraft, maybe. What is it? Vaughn and
McNichols.
McNichols. Why I say Schoolcraft? McNichols, is that what it was? Yeah, so we was all throughout there. But Woodrow Wilson, your hood is basically on the other side, just on the other side of Dexter. Am I right?
Right. It's,
That's where Woodrow Wilson.
y'all was on Burlingame, Dexter, so it's Dexter, Linwood. And
Linwood.
Yeah, Dexter. The next busy street would be Linwood. And then the next busy street would be, 12, like where Chris Budd was from.
Okay.
And then Woodrow Wilson.
Okay.
So I used to walk up to that McDonald's on Burlingame right there.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying? I had a real paper, like not my dope paper route. I had a paper route when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And Burlingame
News.
was my
Actual
real
news.
actual
Right.
paper route.
That's what it brought me back to was
Yeah.
the cookouts over on Burlingame, Cousins Day. You know what I mean?
Well, when
Everything
I
that you was
listened to
talking
it-
about, I was like, oh, that's. I mean, I think that, and I'm saying that to say this. I think that not just us in this room, or not just black, or not just anything, not just whoever can relate to that, but especially us.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
It's almost a, for lack of better terms, it's definitely a FUBU song, but it's one of the best FUBU songs ever.
Yeah.
It's for us, but it's by us.
Yeah.
but it's really for us because we get down with that. We know exactly what the fuck you talking about.
Thanks, man.
He even said some names in there. I'm like, damn, shit, me and Nutty might be cousins.
Right, right.
Like he said LZ, Boo. I'm like, hold on, how we know them?
Exactly.
Well, you know everybody got a boo.
Everybody got a boo. We talked about that on the podcast before.
Everybody got a
I said,
boo in their family.
is there any more? Because we was talking about Junebug, and we said, is there any more Junebugs? Is there any more boos?
I got a June bug from Bandai.
All right. He said weed.
Yeah.
Do we sell weed?
Nah, he smoked. He smoked. Yeah, but
East Side. Shout out to my boys over there on the East Side too. I mentioned the West Side. I got to mention the East Side. 7 Mile and Finline. All my cats over there, man. Shout out to y'all, man. My guys over there.
We might be cousins. I got cousins that stay on 6 Mile of Finline.
Finline, up and down Finline. There's that's a whole. We can get into that later on too. But before we go any further, man, let's go ahead and take a break. Let's get some refreshments. Take a quick break, and we'll get back to some J-Nutty. We'll talk about some. I want to go back into the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Of J-Nutty.
Yeah.
Before the rapper.
For the rapper.
And we'll get into that, man. So before we go, let's do some another quick shout outs. Shout out to 8 Mile Vodka and Born in Detroit.
Definitely shout out to JC Quality Construction. Like I said, hit him up, 734-652-9715. Also, I want to shout out my girl, Ebony, a.k.a. Ibani. That's for you. Check her out at the Gem Spot Podcast on all your podcast platforms. She's dope, young lady. I'm gonna give a shout out to Junebug. I don't know where Junebug is, but I need to shout out Junebug.
Junebug needs some money on his books. I giving all these shouts out.
That's what's up.
Hold on, it's break time.
Yo, it's your boy J-Nutty, the real J-Nutty, with Beyond the Tracks podcast. Make sure you tune in every time. It's going to be something special, something real, and something epic.
I come right there from the era, nigga. Van Dyke, Dexter, Lil Woodrow, HB, all that shit. 12.
The game is a motherfucker, and I've been a player since Gil Hill was the chief and Coleman Young was the mayor. This is way before the rap. When Detroit was declining, I carried D on my back. When Jackalone whack Hopper, I was on Linwood corner checking traps with Papa. After the young boy era on Woodrow Wilson, I was the young boy they was scared of. I glued my face to the street, pushing Ye, me and Keith, bumping the J to the D. The Ghetto Boys, AWOL, Ice Cube, and Rap Mafia. This before T and me started the Black Mafia. Run DMC, rock the Fresh Fest. 6th grade top 10s, nigga, I was best dressed. Guest press with a crease in them, black on black lead denims. Pockets was kinda tight, but I stuffed a couple G's in them. Hopping out the Blue Eagle, the bubble cab, twins on me double mag, duffel bag, Finkel and Hubble Ave. I laugh and think, damn, I was out my mind. But if you really think about it, I was way before my time.
From the 5th grade, mama brought me that first radio.
And we back for the second part of the podcast. Man, it's your boy TJ, the mayor. I got Rome over here to the right of me. Over there across the way, I got DJ Big Mike. And I got my man, J-Nutty, the infamous Detroit J-Nutty.
In the building.
hey, from Woodrow Wilson to Van Dyke. You know, I had something else planned just to go back into it, but every time I see Nutty over there, I can't just bring him in as J-Nutty. I'm talking about Woodrow Wilson to Van Dyke. I'm talking about Gangsters Only. I'm talking about Tools on Deck. I'm talking about Cousins Day. I'm talking about one of the illest motherfuckers that ever spit lyrics out of Detroit. My man, J-Nutty, man. We got J-Nutty in the building.
Damn, I'm sorry. I like that intro, man.
Yeah, man. I might need to do it. I'm like, oh, we just pod.
Right.
But no, this ain't just pod today.
Normally you think the DJ would get them heli intros, but I can't fuck with TJ the mayor. I mean, I just let him do it. He should just be my MC. Me and Ron, we just spin the music.
I'm still MC.
Yeah, let's go.
So we back. This is the Beyond the Tracks podcast, your podcaster's favorite podcast. We got J-Nutty in the building. Before we went to break, we was talking about just a bunch of different stuff about different songs, how they came along, a bunch of different stories. Right now, I want to dive deep into who is J-Nutty outside of music, because this dude has an incredible story of how he came up and just how we got to the point where he's at now. So, man, it would just be conversation, but I want you to start off this conversation. You just give us a little bit, man, of J-Nutty the person.
Okay, so J-Nutty the person is a young boy from Woodrow Wilson and Highland. My mother was an accountant. My pops was a fireman. He owned taxi cabs. I got 2 sisters. I got 2 brothers. And we basically came from a neighborhood that a lot of people don't know. The book of YBI originated.
Young Boys Incorporated.
Young Boys
for y'all to know.
Incorporated. Part of that story originated at my corner. My playground, the playground at the corner of my street, was one of those spots that was doing 50,000 a day. You know what I'm saying? And Highland Park was right across the bridge from right where I stayed. The bridge was right at my corner street.
HP.
So HP was another spot where they was doing where pickups was happening, and they was doing 50,000. Every spot that they was picking up money from was doing 50,000 and 60,000 a day. Sound crazy, it sound astronomical, but this is real life, real true story. And I grew up right in the heart of it. But coming up in the heart of that, I can't give y'all the whole story or like the whole movie, because I'll be telling you the whole movie.
Right.
The movie, that's part of what I got going on, what's coming up.
Okay.
But it's basically like this. My mom was an accountant. My father was a fireman, and he owned 3 cabs, and he was like part owners of a cleaners. And my dad was always a legit hustler, a legit money maker, bringing money in. My mama was always legit. They didn't smoke, they didn't drink. But I came up in the hood, in the neighborhood where I talk about this in the book and in the movie. I didn't realize back then that I was admiring the drug dealer and not paying attention to the idol and the role model I had in my house. Now that I'm grown, and now that I'm doing the music, and my daughter look up to me, I try and make sure that I don't talk about, I don't advocate lean sipping and pill popping, because I got somebody who rap and who look up to me like that, and she raps too. So I always, my son, he raps. So I always wanted to project like a positive narrative when I rap. You know, when I'm talking about this stuff, it's a reason that I'm talking about it. So I came up in that era not admiring my father. I admired him, but he wasn't an idol of mine. The dope dealer dude was an idol. Right. You know what I'm saying? He was the idol of mine. So, but my older brother, he was the original, the first person who told me like, yo, you can rap, Jay. You know, you really can rap. You can rap. And I was like 9 at the time. And
how did he know that? What was the first thing that you spit?
Well, the first thing that I ever would do was, at 9 years old, I could say any album. Listen what I'm telling you. Any album from that era, that time, you name any album, rap-wise, I can say the whole album without messing up. I could rap if it was Special Ed, if it was Houdini, if it was Run DMC, if it was Father MC, if it was Young MC, Tone Loc, Beastie Boys. I could do their whole album without messing up. I knew everything word by word. And they, you know, my mama used to be like, that's a talent. That's a talent.
It even back then, because I used to do this too, is even back then, remember they used to have the lyrics?
Yeah.
On the album?
On the album.
The book and the album?
Right.
That's how I learned a bunch of shit, but yeah.
So I would do that. And, you know, for a long time I would do that, and then I started trying to write my own raps. I started trying, and like I said, the dude Chris Bud who died, it was a guy named MC Ace and Big Hurt. Them was the only people back then, I was young, they used to rap in the central lunchroom. You know, they was in the lunchroom rapping. I was at probably in middle school then at the time, and I was sneaking up to the high school to be able to hear them rap. And my brother used to be like, yo, you want to be able to be like them, you got to do this, and you got to do that, and you got to do this. And, you know, so I would freestyle. Every time I just would freestyle. I never would write a rap. I would freestyle.
You're about Central High School.
Central High School.
West Side,
Central, yeah, Linwood. Shout
Yep.
out to my Centralites. But I would freestyle all the time. And my brother used to be like, you're going to have to start writing your raps down. And I'm like, I didn't think that of making it as a rapper. I just liked to do it. And just liked the rappers. So it was a dude named MC Ace. And him and my brother was best friends back then. And him and Hurt, MC Ace and Hurt, was a group back then. And he always used to be telling me, like, yeah, you freestyle good that time, but you ain't ready for MC Ace. You ain't ready for MC Ace. So I was like, dang, I got it. One day I'm going to get him. You know what I'm saying? Because he was good. He was real good back there. That's Rocky B's father. This is what I was saying. It's a long history story.
Wow.
About us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Rocky B's father. So he was like always rapping, always going. He had the performance. He had it all. He was like a energy MC, you know. And one day I finally wrote a rap down, and I'll never forget it. I was like 11, and I was like, "You say you the ace? Well, guess what? I'm the big joker, and you ain't swift enough, so I'ma smoke you." And I was talking shit, you know what I'm saying? And I was geek, and he was like, "Oh, you got one?" I was like, "I wrote it." And he was like, "You wrote it?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Dang, dog, you really got the talent, blah, blah, blah." So then after that, I would go up to the school and I would try and meet them because they would be walking home and Herc would be rapping nonstop while they walking home freestyle. And Lacey, they'd be passing it back and forth freestyling. And I used to try and meet up with them because my school was like in their path of walking. So I would walk behind them and try and hear what they was doing. I thought it was just brilliant. And when I started freestyling one day, Herc said, "You know what, man? You need to start writing, bro. You need to get down with us. You need to do this. You need to do this." And I'm like, I ain't thinking about that. I'm running around chasing girls and, you know what I'm saying, doing what I wanted to do. And I kept messing around with it so long, and I started rapping. And then one day, it was a guy from the hood. He was like, "Yo, can you rap something to Isley Brothers, Footsteps in the Dark?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I could rap something. I could rap about anything." And you know, back then I was 13, and I was wild, bro. I'm gonna put it out there. I was really like, now hindsight, that I'm grown and I see what I was doing, the shit that I was doing, the shit that I had going on, I would have killed my son or my daughter for. Right. You know, but I'm telling you, that's why I gave you the story about my mom and dad was so pop. My mom was Jehovah's Witness, so a lot of the shit that I was doing, I wasn't supposed to be doing. Right. And I always had a gun. I was fascinated with guns. You know what I'm saying? I would steal a gun if it was laying around. I'm talking about I love guns because it wasn't to be honest with you, it wasn't the actual gun that I like. It was the fear on your face when I whip it out. The fear of I can control the whole situation right now. So shut up. And it worked. And everybody would shut up. You know what I'm saying? We don't have no choice. But I always liked the guns. I always would carry a gun. And my dad wasn't buying that. My dad he was just, oh man, he would have killed me for some of the shit that I was doing. My mom, they wasn't having that. But I would always carry a gun. And when a dude came and said, do the rap on the Footsteps beat, we were actually skipping school. And we was in like a vacant building. It was only like a few people that stayed in this apartment. And they put the beat on. And I'm rapping and I'm freestyling. And I say something about if I hear his footsteps in the dark coming in my spot, he gonna fuck around and get shot. And I whipped the gun out and I shot it in the closet. I did it in real life and I shot in the closet. Bah,
damn.
Bah. And he
Gangsta.
And he
that
like,
nutty shit.
Right.
He go crazy. He like, oh, that was so. It was like the biggest thing back then. I had a little 2.5 or something. And I shot him. My cousin Coach, he's like, oh, that was dope, boy. You got to really do this shit. You got to really start doing this shit and writing it down.
By the way, shout out and RIP to you. Rest in peace
to Coach
man,
Cheese. That was my brother. That was my brother. Like, he was my cousin, but we did everything together. He went to high school with me. He lived with me. You know what I'm saying? We lived together for so many years. And if you listen to the albums, you hear me always.
Oh, you always reference him.
I always do.
The Cold Cheese Whip.
Cold Cheese.
The Cold Cheese Whip. I always remember you referring to the whip.
Cold Cheese, my cousin P, and my brother. Cold Cheese was one of the people that was telling me back then, like, you look up to Nas, but you better than Nas. You look up to Ice Cube, but you better than him to me. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's why when I'm rapping and I'm going and I always throw him in there, it's because me doing my talent, he boosted my confidence and telling me that I was better than the people that I looked up to back then.
Yeah, that's dope.
You see what I'm saying? So he gonna always, I don't give a fuck who don't like it. You know what I'm saying? I had a diss rapper for a nigga that said, somebody said I put Coach Cheese's name in every verse. Say it to my face and I had your face on your favorite shirt. I said that because that's my brother and that's one of the people who inspired me to do this shit.
I was about to say, hey, he meant that shit when he said it. He meant, I don't know if y'all caught that. He meant that shit.
Right.
For sure.
But yeah, so you shot the 25.
I shot the 25 in the closet and dude, like, I need you to come down. I want you to come here. My mans and them. I want you to get down with my mans and them. And I'm like, where they at? We gonna walk down there. And we like, I'm gonna take you over there. And he ended up taking me to Chris Bud. Chris Bud was another dude that was in Central that was rapping. And Chris Bud had, back then, Lacey was energy, Herc was lyrics. Chris Bud was a performer though. Chris Bud would say his raps and have, at the right time, have a girl say something. Or he have a guy step in and say something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That showmanship.
Yeah.
Type, which we talk about this all the time, but like with Calico and what them cats is doing in the
battle rap,
a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
it's almost theater.
It's theater.
And
Chris Bud had that, so he was a little older than me too. And Chris Bud and MC Ace were like arch nemesis. They always was going at each other or whatever on the rap tip. But I like Chris Bud because Chris Bud was more of a not so much lyric but just raw, like just hard, like Ice Cube type. I mean, he just was raw, you know what I'm saying? Right. And I looked up to him too. You know, I took because he was from 12th Street and Herc was from Woodrow Wilson and Lacey was from Linwood, and I took everybody's shit and I love Nas and Scarface and Ice Cube and I tried to wrap it up and make my own little style with it. But I was 14 at the time, and Herc, my man Charlie Rat, we was in the lunchroom. We in 9th grade. We in the lunchroom. Chris Bud in there, and MC Ace they was about to graduate. Chris Bud, MC Ace, and them was all about to graduate. I was in the 9th grade, and for some reason this day they made everybody go into one lunchroom because the other lunchroom was leaking or something. So I'm talking about the lunchroom. We had 2 lunchrooms, and this lunchroom was packed. It's banging. So Chuck like, this motherfucker packed. I'm like, yeah. He like, we about to hype this bitch up. So Charlie Rat started beating on the table, making a beat. Boom, 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 boom. I started freestyling. I'm freestyling. And he beating on the table so hard, and we got the whole lunchroom rocking, saying, go, 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 go. So they can't even hear what I'm rapping now. I ain't even rhyming no more. I'm just up, and I'm chanting. They can see what I'm moving, and everybody like, go, go, go. And Charlie Rat is beating on the table so motherfucking hard, dude, that his hands is blistered and bleeding.
Damn.
But the moment is so epic that he can't stop.
Right.
And he like, yeah, when we get out there, he like, look at my hands. He like, dog, that was some real shit, dog. We gotta
shit, that's a movie moment.
Yeah, I swear to God it was. It was like,
yeah, no, definitely,
yeah,
definitely.
for sure.
And he was like, dog, you see how the man, you see how everybody was, blah, blah, blah. And at that time, that's when Chris Bud came to me and was like, yeah, you stole the show that day. Because normally they would rap and it'd be a little group of people that wanted to hear that.
Right.
But I kind of like took it to another level because it was everybody in this one lunchroom at this time. And I was like up and they let me, I'm standing in the chair and normally they don't do that. And the coach looking like, you know, it was so many people saying, go. The coach was like, I ain't gonna even fuck with him right now. I'm gonna let him go.
Get his shit off.
And I got my shine on, and I had a girlfriend in there at the time. I'm talking, it was a moment. And after that, every day I would go fuck with Chris Bud and Black Bill. Rest in peace to Black Bill. He did too. They was a group, and I would listen to them every day. And I started writing more. And Herc, Thrust, and my man Knock Capone, they had a group. Shout out to Lil Knock. He free Knock. He locked up right now. But they had a group, and that was the beginning of the Rats. We was just raw ass teenage soldiers running around with guns doing other shit, and they was the rebels against the system because they was rapping. And Charlie Picasso ended up getting down with them and writing rap. So they went and laid a song, and they had a song called "Coming from the Road." That meant coming from Woodrow. And
hold on. Might be a little bit. I'm not Jay. You my man's. I wasn't gonna bring this up, but since you brought it up, because let me welcome you to the row. That's one of our cuts.
Okay, well ours is ROW.
The money row. Y'all got so just so people out there know, we the ROE. That's the ROW. I'm just saying,
right.
We don't want no problems. You don't want no problems.
We just got to put that out there.
Right. So after they did the song "Coming from the Road," it was like, I listened to it. Because they was like the first people that MC Ace was, putting songs down. And so Lacey, he put songs down. So it was like the first song that I heard somebody from my neighborhood really put on wax. And it was like, you think you can write something to that? And I'm like, yeah, I can write something to that. And I wrote a rap. Herc was like, well, write your rap, and then we'll listen to it, and if it's good, you on there. So I wrote a rap. Boom, I came back the next day, I had my rap, and I don't remember it at all, but what got him was, I say, my nigga Chuck hit a lick for a Glock, and my nigga Chuck hit a lick for a Glock and a Beretta. What's the task? Get the mask, we stick up .netters. And they were like, oh yeah, you on there. You did it, you on there. And that was the first actual rap that I ever wrote and laid was coming from the row. So I became a part of the Rebels Against the System rap group. Okay. And this where I fell off at. Herc and Thrust and Charlie Picasso, they would have, we got a meeting today. We got a meeting, with producers and the label trying to get it, trying to get shit off the ground. And but they was having meetings, and I would never go to a meeting. I hated going to the meetings. I hated being in the studio when a beat is being made from scratch. I didn't like it. I just want to come to the studio. I just want to rap. I don't want to do none of the other shit.
Right.
I don't want to sit around all of us together at the table and write. I didn't want to do none of that. All I wanted to fucking do was just rap. And they ended up kicking me out the group for a minute. Because I wasn't showing up for the meetings, Because they had a deal where they was trying to, everybody put in a certain amount of dues and all this old shit. And I'm like, I don't want to get over there and sit over there and talk to them and all that shit. So they kind of kicked me out the group. And, they kind of like show me some responsibility. Like, you're going to be a part of this. This is what we got to do. We trying to make it. And I ended up getting back in the group, and then I ended up writing another verse for another song. And I would never be at the video shoots and none of that shit. Because I was like I said, I was wild. I was running around chasing girls. You was just guns, and yeah, I was always going against the grain, bro. And I see it now that I'm grown, but I was always really doing shit that I could have, that could have got me killed. I was always going against whatever it was to, like, I was 14 at the time when that all happened, and it was a dude named Organo Hall. He locked up right now, but he was my brother's age, and they had a crack spot right in back of in front, right around the block from Central, and they had nickel rocks there, big ass nickel rocks, where they nickels was dimes on Woodrow Wilson, right? And we literally 3 main streets over. So I would buy their nickels and go sell them on Woodrow Wilson. Now, I'm 14, don't supposed to be selling dope. My daddy owned cabs, and he's a fireman. So some days he drives his own cab, and some days he don't. I'm running around trying to sell dope, and my daddy could anytime a cab ride by, we all would be nervous because we don't, we gotta wait, make sure. Right. That's daddy. Is that 3? He had 370, 369, and 371 was his cab numbers. So they'd be like, I'm a cab. And my friends would straighten up, and we all would, what I'm saying? So I was trying to sell dope, knowing I wasn't supposed to be doing this, but I kind of was like just the black sheep. And I would just making enough money to go in the lunchroom and do whatever the fuck I wanted to do. It wasn't like I needed money or none of that like that. And I got to the point to where I made enough money to where I would go in the spot, skip school, and I go in the spot and I kick it with Organo. And Organo, I wait till he got down to like his last $200 worth of rocks, and I buy the whole 200. Give me that whole $200 worth of sack. He like, all right. So when I would buy the 200 from Organo, he got to call the guy at the time, name was Black Jeff. He got to call Black Jeff or Thee, and then they got to bring him another sack. So that means he gonna be out for an hour. I would take the same rocks and go in the alley and back of the spot and say they out, but I got dimes.
Mm-hmm. Entrepreneur, businessman.
It's supply and demand.
Yes.
So
create a supply and demand.
So you said you was 13, 14?
I was 14.
I love it.
So I was doing that in the back of the spot, and at times when I supposed to been going to a rap meeting, this is what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? We supposed to be at a meeting at 7:00. I know I got to be in the house at a certain time, so I got to do this. And one day I'm out in the alley, I'm fucking around, and I try and talk to a fiend. The fiend said, no, I ain't buying that. I ain't buying them. He go in the spot, and when he go to the spot, he tells Thee, it's a guy in the back of the spot selling dope, selling rocks. So when I'm walking, I just so happen to be walking off, and I look back, and D is down like 7, 8 houses down, and he's in the alley, and he's looking down at me. So when I walk off and I turn the corner, he comes, boom, he fly down there. I take off running. When I take off running, I run on the side of a house to jump the back gate. And when I get to the side of the house, the gate was too tall, and I couldn't jump it. So now I put myself in a bad position because now I'm on the side of a fucking house.
Right.
Can't nobody see me now.
Right.
And he gets out and he walks up to me and he got a gun in his hand. And he say, hey, man, what you doing in the back of my spot? I say, man, I'm I'm hustling, bro. I'm trying to make some money, blah, blah, blah. He like, how old are you, bro? You got to imagine, at 14, I probably looked like I was 10. Probably 120 pounds, probably. You know what I'm saying? 5'2". And he like, man, listen, I see you trying to hustle, but I can't have you doing that in back of my spot. He said, so I'm gonna let you go. He like, but don't let me catch you back there doing that no more, man. I said, all right. So he let me go. Man, I'm nervous. You know, my heart pounding. I'm like, damn, he could have fucked me up. And I never forget, he had a Sterling. That was the car back then. He had a Sterling, and he had on a leather Gandalf. And I remember he was fresh to fucking death. And I'm like, damn.
A leather Gandalf.
So I go home.
You caught that?
I go home, and I chill out, and I don't go back over there for 2-3 days. And 2-3 days more later, I'm back over there, and the other boss, Black Jeff, catch me back there. And Black Jeff say, bro, you the guy who they talking about that's selling dope in back of our spot? I said, yeah, man. He's like, where you from? I'm like, I'm from Woodrow. He like, well, you know BB? I said, yeah. I said, I stay right next door to BB. And then BB was from Woodrow Wilson. He was one of the big dope dealers from Woodrow Wilson. So I was like, yeah, I know BB. He said, well, tell BB, Black Jeff said, give you a sack. I'm like, all right. So he said, where you going? I said, I'm going on Woodrow Wilson. He said, get in. And I got in with him, and he dropped me off on, my hood, whatever. And I told BB, what happened. And he said, you was rolling, Jason, you was selling dope back at Black Jeff's spot, man. They'll fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? They'll kill you. He was like, well, and then BB said, he told me to give him a sack. So BB said, I'm not going to give you a sack because I know your mom and your daddy. So BB gave me $300. And he was like, you ain't got to sell no dope, Jace. You could go ahead and go to school. Because my mom was putting BB money in a bank, opened a bank accounts with his drug money.
Because your mother was
an accountant. And she loved him. She's saying like, yo, I know you selling dope, but you need to open up a bank account. My mom taught them credit. My mom taught the dope dealers credit and showed them, you know what I'm saying? She took their money and helped them finance, and she didn't realize it was hurting me because you taught them credit, and now they going to get scooters and they get Jeeps with the doors off, and that's who I'm admiring. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it was like then, and there was the times where I was supposed to be at the meeting or supposed to be doing my rap thing, and I was like, I'm selling dope. Fuck that.
So let's go back to like your mom. So your mom was an accountant. She knew the bros was out there doing dirt, but what year was that?
A Jehovah's Witness.
Okay, so but she was still trying to put them on
in
like,
a positive
let me tell
way.
You how to
finance.
Do what you need to do with this money.
You need to build.
I love that. Like that's something that, like, honestly, like I don't think we had around here during that era. We didn't have anybody to direct us on how to do it right, and I think that's why. Like even I'm sure in Detroit, there's a lot of people the same way. They didn't have that direction, so that's why they still out here 50 years old on the block.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like I said, in the movie, shout out to my brother King Wesley. I don't know, y'all probably seen him. He in a bunch of different movies. He a hell of an actor. Murder Pain. Mm-hmm. That's y'all know y'all done seen Buffed Up, and y'all seen the series. What's this shit called? I can't never remember the shit when I'm on live, but a lot of them they gonna help me with direct the movie, and some of them are gonna be in it.
Okay.
But this is all a part of I'm giving y'all the real life side of it. So mom was showing them how to take their money and put it in the bank accounts and build their credit up, and like I said, it was fueling the fire of me because I was loving them. They got scooters, they got ropes on, and you know what I'm saying. And at the time I started rapping because I looked up to BB so much. I started rapping about what was going on that corner, the Butch Jones shit. The you know what I'm saying? It was
that was the whole era, the Butch Jones.
The Butch
era.
Jones era. Like it was, the playground was doing so much that it was like New Jack City.
If I'm not mistaken, Butch Jones that's YBI, right?
YBI. He was a founder of YBI.
Of YBI. You're right. Okay.
But Butch Jones was from Dexter and back where y'all was at.
Yep.
All right. You know what I'm saying? But he had, they had the whole shit going on, and we couldn't play at the playground when they was up doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? But they was up there. It was briefcases moving with money in it, and they had things pulling up. I'm talking about in the corners was, the big four back then was jumping out on them and fucking them up and all this old shit.
Yeah, they got movies based around that corner.
That whole area.
Yeah.
Right. And so I would rap about that. And my older brother was like, you were really on to something. You know what I'm saying? And so when I got back with Herc and them then, after that, it was like I was kind of like polished, you know what I'm saying? And we did an album called Motor Living. And a lot of people haven't heard that. We did an album called Motor Living.
I'm not privy to that one.
We got a song on there called The Family, where it's like mob talk, and then we got it's just me, Chuck, Thrust, and Hurt. And we did a whole little album, and we went to New York. After we dropped the album, we did the album, and we went to New York, and we went. This is a hell of a story. I gotta say this. We went to New York, and we printed up. We had our bios, we had our CD, and a cassette tape in the envelope, and we had 45 destination record labels that we was gonna just knock on the door, and we was gonna walk in, and we was gonna give them our package, and we was gonna give them our promo. We fuck this. We gonna walk in the labels.
Right.
We gonna go down there.
Back in the backpack era too.
Yeah.
Right,
You know
because
what I mean?
we didn't have no air. We didn't have no labels here.
Right.
And it wasn't no internet.
Right.
It wasn't like it was
It
now.
wasn't no internet.
Where you can just stream something, or somebody can find you on
Right.
YouTube or
And you just put
Facebook.
upload one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we go down to New York, and we drive. We get 2 rentals, and at the time I want to say it was 97. Probably like 97, but the rental cars that we had was 2 Cherokees. It was there was a year coming up. It was 98. That was brand new. We had 2 of them, and we riding around and we going to these labels and we jumping out and we stuck. We didn't know New York traffic was like that. We in traffic for hours and we hungry and we mad and we arguing and you know what I'm saying. We frustrated. We didn't go with much money. I think I had like $600. You know what I'm saying. We didn't have that much money to go, and we was there for a whole weekend.
Right.
So we end up going to the Stapleton Projects on Staten Island, where Wu-Tang from. So we end up going over there. We pull up to the projects, and we 2 Cherokees, and right where they shot the video, can it be that it was all so simple then? We go right to them projects, right where they shot that at, and we go right to the park. So we just out there, we taking pictures, and we just doing our thing. The whole courtyard is empty, right? So we like, yeah, we down there taking pictures. I'm like, damn, we down there talking shit. We like, yeah, this supposed to be where Wu-Tang from? Oh, this shit dead as hell. Ain't nobody even out here, blah, blah, blah. It was kind of warm. I'm like, ain't nobody even out here. We down in the Wu-Tang Project. Them niggas ain't nowhere around. We talking shit. So some kids come down and some kids walk up and they like, yo, what y'all doing? And we like, yeah, we just out here taking pictures and we doing this and we, you know what I'm saying? They like, y'all rap? We like, yeah. They like, oh, okay. Well, this was where Ghostface from, this was, and he tell them, we like, yeah, we heard that, we know that, whatever. And he like, yeah, let me hear some of y'all stuff. I'm talking about these like little kids, they like 12 at the time, and they look, let us hear some of y'all stuff. So we playing the songs from him. He like, I'll be right back. And one of the kids, he go up in the apartment building, and when he come back down, he got like 9 niggas with him. They come down, they come like, well, yo, where we all from? Blah, 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 we from Detroit. They like, yo, y'all know that y'all cleared it out here? We like, what y'all talking about? They thought we was the police because the Cherokees.
Oh, okay.
So that's why the project, the
shit
courtyard was empty.
He said
So,
you done cleared
y'all
out
cleared
the
us out.
fucking projects.
Yeah, so they like, y'all come up in them new, we like, police? He like, yeah. He like, y'all pull up, and then Chuck had on a Dickie suit, and they like, y'all pulled up like that back to back. They, that's what the Taz do. They jump out on us and catch us smoking. He like, y'all ain't supposed to be doing that. We smoking, and we like, fuck that. What they gonna do? He like, no, it's serious. Like, you can't just smoke down here, yo. And they got their accent, they lingo,
shit, yeah.
and they like, y'all bugging, yo. Y'all bugging, son. So they go get the dude from Killer Army. They go get them. You know, Killer Army was up under Wu-Tang umbrella. And they go get him. And this nigga was fire. This nigga was cold. So they go get him, and they come down, and now we out there, and we in a circle, and we in a cipher, and we out there rapping. You know, we giving them Detroit style, and they giving us their style, and then that's when they end up saying, well, this what we normally be. We be in the staircases. So when y'all was down there, we was looking at y'all, and they sent the little dude out. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I end up meeting Ghostface Mama. I end up meeting Ghostface Mama. I met the RZA little sister. We end up meeting Inspector Deck people, you know, we met like they sisters and brothers and families, and you know, so they end up calling the dude, and the dude took us to Method Man building, but he wasn't there. You know, a couple of them end up getting in with us, and we end up riding around New York. They were like showing us, you know, Staten Island, and we fucked around down there for a long time, and it was a beautiful experience because we got a chance to meshed with them, like, you know, New York. We meshed with them so good that day, and that's when I was really like, yeah, this shit could happen. This shit could be on. You know what I'm saying? Because I had only person that ever heard me rap was somebody from Detroit, my family or friend. Right. So when a person like that telling you good, it's like, oh, okay. But when you heard a motherfucker with a, yo, son, you bug, yo.
Yeah.
Oh, yo, I'm like, what do you keep saying I'm bugged, dog? What the fuck is he talking about?
Right.
No, that mean you dope. I mean you bugging. You know what I'm saying? So that's when we really felt like, yeah, this it. This is what we about to do. It's on,
and which is a big deal, man. Because and I'm gonna tell you why that I think it's a big deal is because one of the big things, man, with Detroit that I love Detroit rap, I love Detroit hip hop, but I feel like Detroit hip hop is misrepresented around the United States so much because we're not everywhere. You know what I mean? Like so for you to go out to New York and everything, like back in '97, like that's. Like it's 2021, and other than M and Sean, you know what I mean? Like there's some cats that really had to kick down doors in the United States of what Detroit rap really is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, Calico with the battle and stuff. T Grizzly with his first joint. Like people didn't know that's the real sound of Detroit. I mean, I'm not trying to say that M sound isn't Detroit because it is. Sean sound, it's a different, but there's a whole different sound.
Well, I always sum it up as far as the sound of Detroit. Now, what M did and D12 did for the game was Eminem played with lyrics, witty, play with lyrics, wordplay, drug talk, funny, all that. But he'll eat a motherfucker, rip a motherfucker head off. Proof and D12, and then Proof really was the best. My top 5 freestylers, Proof was one of them. What they brought was to the element was a different style of Detroit. You know what I'm saying? But what Calico do in the battle, what Peasy doing, what Babyface Ray doing, what Vezo doing, what J-Nutty bring, what Power Move J bring, Young Hurt. I think it was more to show like the light was on New York for so long, and the light was on California for so long, and everything else in between was nothing until Nelly. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So Detroit been had talent. I come up under every rapper damn near that from Detroit. I know about them, know their songs, know something about them from back then. It was Beat F and Puncho. It was J to the D. It was a Big Hurt, and it was Merciless Amir, and it was Awesome Dre. And you know what I'm saying? I met Kid Rock when Kid Rock was rapping. He wasn't a rock and roll star.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was about 15 or 16 when I met Kid Rock. You know what I'm saying? And Boss.
Ooh, I missed
All
Boss.
of
Yeah.
You ain't even heard. I ain't even heard.
You know what I'm saying?
I got the Def Jam collection and she's on there. So yeah.
You know,
But it's like you were saying too, like when you were mentioning a lot of people, like to us in the Midwest, those are Detroit legends. And I bet you it's people that haven't even heard of them. Right? But it's like to us, like they are legends. Like you can't talk about Midwest hip hop without mentioning those guys. You know what I mean? And so Yeah, I'm glad that you here and you bringing
trying to give a little bit of history.
Yeah, because and just to piggyback off what you said, like the whole Detroit rap movement and shit. What people don't understand that's not from here or not from around here, or the Upper Midwest. I say the Upper Midwest because not just the Midwest, because I travel, and even down like you was talking about Nelly and them. I've been to St. Louis. We've been to St. Louis. The Louis, you got your St. Louis hat on right now. The Louis is a little bit that's a different type of Midwest. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a little bit different. But up here in Chicago but up here, man, I just really feel like everybody talks about this shit, but ain't really about this shit. Is that street rap? Some of the best rappers I've ever heard don't even idolize being a rapper because they're street legends.
Exactly.
And street legend is all in some spots in Detroit have always been way bigger than being a rapper.
Exactly.
Am I lying or
Meech said it before. They downplayed him because he got locked up, because he sold so much dope. He said, but you think about it, every ball player, every rapper, everybody really wanted to live like they were selling dope though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you can talk about it how much you want to, but everybody really wanted to live like a dope dealer. So it's the same thing with rapping. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a street legend first. You know what I'm saying? I had to kind of stray away from that because my daughter and my kids, I never want no backlash to come on them for some shit that I did. But that's when I was telling you about me not wanting to go to the meetings and not wanting to do this because I'm behind in the motherfucking spot. Probably about to get my head knocked off because I'm trying to sell rocks. And I don't even need to sell rocks. I'm just doing this. You know what I'm saying? But the street legendary people that I knew, far as like Uncle Murder in New York is a legend. I never heard of Uncle Murder until 2009.
Me too. I really did, and I didn't know he was a street legend until about.
Yeah,
I knew who he was. I didn't know he was actually a real street legend until probably about 2015. Actually, for me,
you see what I'm saying? Yeah. I heard him rap, and I'm like, he all right, he good, blah blah blah. But they like, no, he really, you know what I'm saying? I got a dude named Giacana out in New York. He rap. He a bad motherfucker, but he gave me a lot of the shit that I needed to know about. New York people, and he spoke on a lot of people that was real and a lot of people that really was, like street motherfuckers. Like he told me, he say we was beefing with Black Rob, Jay. He saying Black Rob was busting at us every time he can, every chance he got. He was like, so I can't take nothing from him. He said even though we was beefing, that boy really was like that. You know what I'm saying? And down there in New York, just let me say this: getting caught with a gun in New York is an automatic 7 years.
Yeah, it's different than it is here. Yeah.
So to be busting it in downtown Manhattan is like even worse. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And he told me that, like, Black Rob was really like that. G-Dep, they was really like that.
So when they talk about busting on somebody, they really mean
that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, and I mean, think about it. Plexico Burris got motherfucking time. Yeah. He got a gun charge for shooting himself, trying to pull out. New York don't play with that.
That's why everybody would get buck feet. That's why they would get razors because to carry a gun was like you don't want to get 7 years just because you got caught with the motherfucker. Right. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, I'm a street legend first because a lot of the things that I've done. They call me Little Big Man. I mean, like I can hold my own. You know what I'm saying? I didn't been in situations where I told my cousins I'm gonna take the big one. You know what I'm saying? He like, what? you want the big one? Yeah, I'm gonna get the big one. You go ahead. You take care of him. I'm gonna handle this big motherfucker. But rap wise, coming up under Hurt and coming up under, you know what I'm saying, the BDF, the Puncho, them boys was spitting. Jada D had videos out when I was in the 9th grade. When the box was out,
yeah,
they had videos on there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I ain't never ever gonna take from paying homage to them people. I always give Ice Cube and Nas and Scarface and all them MC Light and all them. I always pay them homage. Why wouldn't I pay the people homage from my own city that made me see that it was possible?
Mm-hmm. Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what I said on First of the Third. The reason why I was talking about that is because a lot of these rappers don't even know and don't even give or pay the homage to the people from Detroit that really paved the way. Them motherfuckers, a lot of them motherfuckers right now couldn't sell as many albums out the trunk as we could.
Right.
No, I don't believe that. And actually, I did a little bit of research. This was I don't even know how many years ago when me and you first started rocking with each other, and I was I was curious of independent labels and how Detroit independent labels matched up to the rest of the world, right?
Right.
Because there's the independence done now, as far as what y'all was doing back in the day.
Right.
But at one time, Rock Bottom was the #1 selling independent label
In the
United States.
In the world.
Oh, is the world? Okay, excuse me.
Wait, no,
In
let's
the world.
say United States. Don't quote me on the word.
But we know that United States. We know that in hip hop,
right.
United States runs the world.
Right.
But yes, they were the #1 selling independent label
in the world. And that was back when Master P, and that was when all them independent labels back then. That was when all of them was out. We was selling like that. We was selling. We was doing 50,000 copies out of the trunk. Mm-hmm. The reason why a lot of them couldn't do that right now because they don't have the patience, because they fast food babies. So they, you know what I'm saying? They don't have the patience. Some of them don't even have the nuts and the balls to jump out on Van Dyke and 6 Mile and say I got CDs.
And it's so easy for them to sit behind a computer screen and everything and do this
and
DSP.
Upload.
So it's all DSP now. So it's your streams. It's you know what I mean. We talk about that a lot. Mm-hmm. Is we because our take on it, because you were here for the conversation we had about this, but our take on it is it's a gift and a curse. It's a gift because as a creator, with one click you can put your art out to the world. But what it does is it fucks up the game, because now you gotta move all this different shit, this bullshit out the way to get to the good shit.
Get to the good shit.
So it's a gift and a curse, and it gives you, like you said, you don't have the nuts to jump out on Van Dyke and sell that CD. You don't have the. We used to go and shout out to. Here's a quick story. Shout out to Proof, David Lee, a couple cats I used to fuck with. We would go up to Drew's on Sunday nights. You remember when St. Andrews was popping on Sunday nights, and Proof was always good for that. When we'd be outside, you know this, but people that listening, Proof would act so much like a regular dude that it was almost scary sometimes, because we like, I don't know if you should just be out here like this, like you just a regular dude, because you still Proof at the end of the day. Like you a celebrity now. You can't just walk around like this. But he would make sure, he put me onto this. Hey, when you come out of this motherfucker, you got to ride home. Y'all going back to the road. Buy somebody's CD. Who gives a shit? It's only $5. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
But there would be them cats outside of Drew's. You know what I mean? That's a hustler's mentality. That's a Detroit hustlers outside of Drew's on a Sunday night. You know what I mean?
CD.
The dope boys come out the club and boom, hey man, it's only $5. Give it a listen. You know what I mean? And there's some dope ass shit that's came out of that. But yeah, man, it's just a different era. You don't have that.
You don't have that. We did the numbers. We did the numbers independently. We did the numbers without the internet. And don't get me wrong, I'm not taking nothing from everybody who got who came in this era. It's good. Timing is everything. I'm glad for that. But don't ignore or pay homage to the people who grinded to make this shit happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For J-Nutty to be, for the name J-Nutty, like I got a lot of people who's J-Nutties now. You know, you got a bunch of nutties out here now. You know what I'm saying? They know they ain't the one that Herc was talking about, but they're nutties. There's a few of them. It's a bunch of them. You can look up. There's about 4 or 5 of them that are on YouTube right now. And it's flattering to me. You know what I'm saying? That they want to do that, but you can't make it and blow up and make money and say, you know, you ain't gonna pay homage to the real J-Nutty though. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You ain't the real J-Nutty.
You're not the real J-Nutty. So you gotta at least say, you know, that's like me coming out with instead of DMX, I'm DMZ.
Right.
Come on, bro.
Right. For the people that don't know, man, tell them how you became J-Nutty as far as the name.
All right. So the name J-Nutty come from a few different things, and I'm explaining that to you. The name J-Nutty come from a few different things. It come from me always getting on my daddy nerve, and he used to say, "Man, that boy is nuts." It come from that. It also come from when my first case that I caught, you know, I shot a dude in the face over $100, and it was like, yeah, that little nigga nutty. You know what I'm saying? It was like always little shit like that. When I moved to the east side, And on Van Dyke, you know, you shoot somebody and they won't even call the police. Like, motherfuckers would close their door. And the police would come ask questions. Nobody would say shit. So that kind of like, I feel like, ooh, it's okay, Carell over here. And one of the guys over there told my uncle, like, we can't make no money. You send that little nutty ass nigga back over to the west side. You know what I'm saying? He over here doing this and shooting his gun every chance he get. So that's kind of like where it stemmed from. Okay. Constantly, that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? But later on, I end up becoming, I'm allergic to peanuts. So they like,
oh man! And a Beyond the Tracks podcast exclusive. He has said it here, and this whole time I'm like, it's nutso. Niggas want to see me go nutso. I pull up in the and I'm like, this nigga never mentioned the peanut. Shit.
So that's where it came from. You know what I'm saying? And
I'm glad you ended it with the peanut allergy. Though. I love that.
Well, you know how a lot of people want to, you know, like go into like Sada Baby. His other entity is Scuba Steve, or like Nicki Minaj got Ron, or like you know like Jay-Z and Jigga, and you know what I'm saying, Nas Escobar. I never really went to the other name because of it was either Nutty or Nutso, and it was because of the street part beside the rap. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker call me Nutty or J-Nutty, or you know what I'm saying? It was always that. And my cousin from the east side, he really said that we should be calling ourselves Dirty Dozens before D12 came up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Why is that?
That was a name he came up like, I think we should name ourselves Dirty Dozen.
Oh, for real? Oh, he used to actually say Dirty Dozen. Like
and when D12 came out, that's kind of like what it was. That would have stood for.
That's what it was.
That's what it was. And he was mad.
But it was the alter ego.
Yeah. He was like,
it was 6 of them.
Yeah, it was 6 of them, but it was
alter ego, so it's 12.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. I never had the alter ego. Or Big Hurt never had the alter ego. It was just always, we going to give you raw. We going to spit. We ain't going to, you know what I'm saying? We going to give you the real shit. All this old goof. I don't do goofy rap. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Because I come up in the era where when you got your chance to get on the platform and you spoke some shit. You didn't goof around with it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. No, you know what? The one thing that y'all, I gotta interrupt you for a second because I gotta talk about this for a second. I wanted to bring this up. So, and there's a song called "Taking Trips." Me and you've talked about this before, but that's one of my favorite songs. You know what I mean? You already know how I feel about you and Hurt. Y'all my 1A and 1B, and I won't tell y'all who's A and who's B because it doesn't matter. Right. You know what I mean? Y'all my 1A and 1B. But when I heard Herc's verse on Taking Trips, talking about going to Minneapolis, Minnesota, and knowing what I know from a couple of things that I've been around, I was like, man, if this isn't a fucking picture he's painting, talking about going to California, talking about bringing out they slang that, and getting out of Cali, they slang that for 50, only 20 where I'm from, all that shit. The rap was so real to me that I was like, this shit is crazy that these dudes is actually rap. Like, at the time, I was thinking, this shit is almost like, y'all might catch an indictment because this shit's too real.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Real.
When Calico, another one, I'm in Humboldt County with a couple racks on me. I ain't come out here to fuck with hoes. I just came to buy a bunch of bows. I'm like, dog, I used to get my weed from Humboldt County. These niggas is fucking it up. They fucking up the game. But it's that real rap. That's what I'm saying about Detroit. They bring that real rap. Like, when niggas say that they do
and that's the
things.
If you know, then you know.
You're the only one that's safe from this whole podcast here because there's been so many N-words.
Oh, okay.
We got an N-word jar, too.
Right.
I ain't said N-word. And I got your N-word. Listen, I got your N-word dollars for this. I don't know. It don't matter.
Okay.
But I got them. I got you on this.
I'll count them up and I'll send you an invoice.
Oh man, they're gonna send me.
But man, no, for real though, man.
Podcast is starting to cost me a lot of money.
But yeah, man, like being able to I think that's what the hidden gem is about Detroit rap is that. And I'm not trying to diss no other coast or nobody else, but a lot more rappers that are from Detroit spit a lot more of what they know or what they see than just it sounds good on a track. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And we don't get that homage around here.
And again, we got to pay homage to the people that made us feel like we could do that. You feel what I'm saying?
You're right.
Spice One was one of the people I looked up to.
Wow, you brought
Spice-
back the Spice One.
Spice One talked
listened to
about
that.
so much killing, murder, shit going on. Ice Cube and them, they talked about that shit, and people that I met from California was like, no, it really go down like that. Like they really set tripping. They, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now, Detroit, we don't really gang bang. It's you just can't come over here selling dope. If my block doing 3,000 a day, you can't just come over here.
It's about the set.
It's all
but
about
it's
the
not
money.
about the gangs.
Yeah, it's
per
all
se.
about the set. It's all
About
about
the set. The
this block
neighborhood,
doing
the block,
3,000.
yeah.
They block doing 3,000. I ain't gonna come fuck with your customers. Don't come fuck with mine. You come fuck with my customers, then everything is all bad. That's what Calico said about the Red House when he said that. Them boys made down there 300
out the Red House.
Somebody burned the Red House down. We went to an
Red
all-out
House
war.
is the Red House
Nobody's
is the
gonna make no
infamous-
money now.
Right.
That's
You
the
know what I'm
infamous house in Detroit, the Red House.
Red House. So,
Wow.
the Red House was doing $10,000 a day in rocks.
The fucking Red House.
The Red House.
Man, if people that's listening, if y'all go
Man.
back and y'all listen to a lot of the if go on YouTube, Bootlegger's Dream. I know that's on YouTube. I don't know where else it's at, Nutty, but I know for sure it's on YouTube. Minus a couple tracks for the clearance purposes. But if you listen to some of the lyrics and listen to some of Calico stuff, because Calico is they little homies, because that's Blackface stepson.
That's his real son.
Oh, is it? Oh, I thought they were step.
Yeah, that's
Oh, okay.
real
I'm
fake.
sorry.
Yeah.
My bad.
They both name is Toriano.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know. I didn't know that was Blackface.
Shout out to Black
I knew
Calico.
but- yeah, shout out to Blackface. Shout out to Calico. But when they spit them lyrics, man, like go back and listen to some of these lyrics. A lot of this shit they talking about and shit that we talking about right here, like they reference a lot of these different things. And if you listen to them, song after song, you know, when you just making up stuff, right? It won't be the same story, or it won't be the same references. But when real recognize real, when you rapping and you keep coming up with these references, if you go back to Alligator City and you listen to something from them, and then you listen to something on Irrelevant, you're gonna pick up. And we're talking about 15 years apart, maybe.
Yep.
Maybe even more than that.
Yeah, probably
you're gonna
a
pick up
little
some
more than
references
that. Yeah.
that's still they're the same reference. You know what I mean? Because it's real rap. You know, Detroit artists don't get enough. And I'm not saying we're saying, oh, well, let's glorify, you know what I mean, the real rap and the violence and the drugs and everything like that. I'm just saying, hey, Detroit's got some shit going on, or Detroit, you know, had some shit going on. Detroit was out here too.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
We're not just rapping to sound cool to impress New York or
Right.
LA or Chicago or Atlanta or
Right.
St. Louis or Miami.
Well, what a lot of people don't know is, in 2000, let's say 4 or 5, everybody, let's say 2005, yeah, so many people was going to Humboldt. So many people was going to Cali and getting the weed from Cali and getting it, drove back, whether it was being drove back, flew back, whatever, however they was doing it. We was, I mean, like when I was actually in the Fed joint and I set up and kicked it with like a bunch of different guys, and I know, oh yeah, this guy was getting, he was getting 300 pounds. He was getting, they was together and they was teamed up and they was getting 1,000 pounds a month. And you know, I was going out there at Cali and mailing mine back and getting 50 and 60 every 2-3 weeks. We really actually was moving all the weed for California. We was moving a lot of their shit down here. You feel what I'm saying? So now that they made us legal, a lot of those people, in 2005, 2006, I was going to get Bose. I was going to get Kush from Be Legit. You see what I'm saying? Now Be Legit got his own strand, his own farm, his own everything. I've been doing that. I was doing that back in 2005. Back then, in 99 and 2000, my man who I was going to Cali for, he was sending pints of lean up here. Before everybody was drinking pints and all that. This was 99, bro. This was me fresh out of high school. When, you know what I'm saying, back then. You know, he was sending that shit back and forth up here. So everybody that's pouring lean and all that now, dog been doing it. So we was going to get all that. Now that we legit, they kind of like in a panic down there in Cali because we was moving a lot of their shit.
Absolutely.
You feel me?
And the COVID really fucked them up. And I'm not trying to blame anything on COVID, but there's a lot of people that's moving out of Cali and going to Arizona and all these places because Arizona's about to be legal.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know about that.
man.
But yeah. Humboldt County is about to. I'm not saying they'll never be gone, but I think they're about to struggle.
Yeah, they're gonna struggle because you gotta think we can grow our own. Now, don't get me wrong, they're gonna have some good shit. I grow my own shit. I grow my own strand. My last strand was Purple Kim. I was selling that shit for $75 an eighth. That shit was that strong. You know, I had it up at at my dispensary or whatever. That shit was so strong. I grew it myself because I know everything to do. Don't get me wrong. Everybody make mistakes or whatever, but I got like a green thumb. I got a green thumb. My cousin got a green thumb. So it's like we doing our own thing. You know what I'm saying? It's about to be. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. I got a partner, an Arab dude who grew up. Well, his father had a store on Woodrow Wilson in Highland where all this shit was going down, and they basically we grew up together because he was a kid and he worked in the store and he was my age, and every once in a while I could go down there and the father would let him, yeah, go ahead, you could play with, he'd play with us. Well, I just bumped into him recently when I came home from prison and getting my grow equipment, and I go in the store and I look at him and I'm like, I know you from somewhere, and he like, yeah, you do look familiar, man. I'm trying to think where it's from. I said, what's your name? And he said, George. And I said, you George from Highland? He said, yeah. What the fuck? He like, what's your name? And I'm like, he like, don't say it. He like, you Mikey. And I'm like, no, I'm not Mikey. I'm like, that was my friend that stayed down the street. I'm like, I'm Jay-Z. He like, oh shit. He get to going, and he called his father George up there, and I called my mom, and cause we haven't seen each other since like '87, bro.
Wow.
Damn.
And we bump back into each other because I'm going to the grocery store to get my grow equipment. So he like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I started this. And he told me about when he started the store, he refinanced on his house and he took $40,000 and he opened up the store. His store is worth $14 million right now. Mm-hmm. He only been open 3 years. His store worth $14 million.
Damn.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He said, Jay, I ain't had nothing else going on. He said, my father had a stroke and he kind of like lost the store. He's like, we lost the store. He was like, so I had to figure something out. By me being the oldest boy, I took a shot at this. So, shout out to Eden Gardens. That's in Gross East Point. But he told me, he said, Jay, this is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Get you a piece while you can. Because before you know it, it's going to be oversaturated and it's going to be over flooded.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Especially once the government gets their little greedy little paws on it, because they're going to turn it federal. Soon as it goes federally legal, they're going to try to take just like alcohol. They're going to try to take so much shit out of it if you ain't already in it by now. But you know what I mean. But while we talking about that, man, go ahead and plug your store one more time, man. I'm sorry. Do we call it a store or do we call it?
Well, it's my clubhouse. So
okay.
Sticky Detroit. You know what I'm saying? We are right on the east side of Detroit, 18560 Conant, gray building with the orange door. That's how we describe it. You know what I'm saying?
Can't get lost.
Can't get lost. Shout out to everybody who helped me with the my project, who helped me with the Irrelevant album. Peasy, from Peasy to Stretch Money to Stretch Money. I'm gonna finish getting my shots out first. Young Hurt, Big Hurt, Rockin' Ghost, Dub Music, who helped me produce the shit. Dub Music was there with me, man, when I was going through a hard time, going through a divorce, going through I caught COVID twice. I went through a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? And I was going through, I had to do a little therapy, and my therapist died from COVID, and it was like a whole lot. I lost my grandson all in that same year. And Dub was one of the people who came over and was like, Jay, I know, you're going through it. I know what you're going through, but whenever you get a chance, bro, we need to get back in that lab, man. And you need to finish up your project, So he was on me, and he let me come record free. He let me, until I got done, I, was able to pay him on the back end. So he helped birth this Irrelevant album. Dub did.
Which is a great album, by the way. Us at the Beyond the Tracks podcast.
Also, my PR, her name is Christine. She she got a divorce, so I don't know what last name to call her, but she did like all my uploading to all my websites, and she kind of like pushed that. She helped me everybody that, you know, has something to do with my project, my daughter, you know what I'm saying? She like a big inspiration for me. You know, my brother, like my A&R, he listen. You know what I'm saying? My fiance, she come through and she would listen and be like, well, I don't like that. Well, I don't like this. You know what I'm saying? But everybody that has something to do with the project, I appreciate them. They know I appreciate them. But Stretch Money dropping his album, and it's called Drunken Master.
Okay.
All right.
We were just talking about Stretch. Talking about when we ain't heard from him in a minute.
He's dropping it. I want to say either June 4th, which I think it's June 4th. It's June 4th. He dropping a project. I'm on there. I'm on one of the songs, but he got an album called Drunken Master, and this right here has set Stretch Money and took him. He's in my top 5 of all times off this album.
Really?
I follow Stretch, right, and I've been seeing his Instagram posts and these karate get-ups and shit, and I was wondering what the fuck is he doing? Because it won't even caption. It'll just be him and some karate shit, and you're like, what the fuck is going on with Stretch?
He named the album Drunken Master.
Drunken Master. Well, that would explain it.
And he got a video he did with the whole. I don't want to give it away, but they did with the whole martial arts.
Yeah, there's a little snippet on his Instagram about it, actually.
Right.
Yep.
So we always reach out. Me and him always been like real cool. You know what I'm saying? We both like fans of each other's, and that's why on the album we piggybacked off each other like that on that.
Which is a great song. Y'all got a great cut together, man.
Me and him always kicked it like that. We was always real. You know what I'm saying? Me and Peasy, we really developed our relationship like over the last 3 or 4 years. Me and him had they did. Bezel had a Detroit versus Everybody song, and we got in the studio. T-Dot called me. Shout out to T-Dot too. I'm wearing T-Dot gear, 100 grand clothing. Shout out to T-Dot too.
100 grand clothing, yeah.
And T-Dot called me like, yo, Bezel wants you to come and drop a verse on the Detroit versus Everybody. And I'm like, who all on there? And he like, man, there's a lot of motherfuckers on. And I'm like, who? And he like, Peasy and his Bezel and his Helliver and me and his Lou Graham and he naming everybody that's on the song, and it's about 40 motherfuckers. Helliver helped do the beat, and Helliver rapping on it, and beats on it.
Wait. Helliver rap?
Helliver.
I've never heard Helliver rap.
Helliver is one.
You put me on the Helliver back in the day before the T Grizzly before.
Helliver is one of the best rappers out of Detroit. He just choose not to rap.
I never knew that. I never knew that. I might even heard his verse and didn't know it was Helliver.
Yeah, Helliver can rap his ass off.
Damn. Okay.
He's a super talented guy. Helliver is.
See, I just know from Helliver, man.
Helliver beats. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've been fucking with Helliver before he even had that tag. So
yeah.
Helliver actually did on the Blow album, my song "Gangsta As You Want to Get." Helliver produced that.
Okay. Gangsters, yep, I remember that.
Helliver produced "Gangsta As You Want to Get."
Yeah.
Trick produced "Gangsters Only."
Right.
So I'm always tied in. You know, they're my brothers. You know what I'm saying?
And matter of fact, Trick Trick's got something dropping at the end of the month.
Well, yeah.
He's got an album dropping. So shout out to Trick Trick. He's got a project.
Actually, I'm supposed to be on the album. But we ain't, that's another story with me. But he did call me and say he was going, when because he was busy, Trick Trick doing some big things. Hell of a guy. Trick is really a fucking icon, and it's gonna show in time what he's doing right now. He's like building a school.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he on something real big. But everybody that helped me with my project, everybody, you know what I'm saying, like 100 grand clothing, T-Dot, that's my bro. He always come through. I'm gonna have to get him on on the podcast
for sure.
Everybody that I can get on the podcast
for sure.
Like I said, Peasy, I always speak on him because me and our relationship developed so fast. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I always knew Babyface. He got a song on his album called Rock Bottom Jacket. Because he used to take his brother's Rock Bottom Jacket to school.
Mm-hmm.
But I always knew him. That's a little bro. And
I tried to get a Rock Bottom Jacket once, and the dude told me, he was like, you can't get one of them.
No,
I was like, I just want one though.
Yeah,
he was like, yeah, you can't get one of those. And I was like, well, I'm gonna have somebody make me one day. He was like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, you
well,
put me on game.
Actually, the person that was making the people that was making the jackets actually did all of the Juggalo ICP clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he only made a certain amount of jackets. He didn't even care about making a rock bottom jacket. So we couldn't even mass produce at that time if we wanted to.
Right.
With that stitching and another guy tried to do it, and it was like kind of like goofy looking. It was like damn near like the old Bugs Bunny and the new Bugs Bunny. So it was kind of like that. So we just stuck with the same guy, but he wouldn't even. He was doing $1 million in ICP clothing a year. He didn't give a fuck about doing rock bottom jackets. So he'd do 20, and that was it.
Right.
Well, I do 20 of them, and you know that was it. So that's why it was only so many of them produced.
One quick question for you, Nutty. And I want a one-word answer. Jay-Z or Tupac?
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
now can I?
Wait, he has a caveat.
I was about to say.
He has a caveat.
I was about to say before I answered the question, but you said give me a one-word answer.
Okay.
So I had to answer it. Jay-Z. Now I'm gonna say why Jay-Z.
Okay.
Me following Jay-Z over the amount of time, hearing him get great. I heard him get better and better and great, and I watched him do shit and constantly climb lyrically, financially. You know what I'm saying? I watched him do it all step by step.
Yes.
I know his whole life.
Yes.
You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I know his whole life. Tupac.
Just let me interject.
Oh, now
let me
he
interject.
now he wants to interject.
And that's the problem. And that's the problem right there. We followed his whole career, his whole life. Tupac had an influence in 5 years. He was a baby.
He died.
Jay-Z still don't have a dear mama. Over 20 years, Nutty. Jay-Z ain't got no dear mama.
He don't have a dear mama, but he have.
Come on, Nutty. Come on. Let's be honest, bro. I'm just saying. I love Jay. Jay is the greatest rapper alive, if you ask me. But influence on hip hop and popular culture, it's not even a question. Not even a question.
What I'm saying, Tupac was more heartfelt.
Absolutely.
Tupac got in my soul. Tupac made me cry. Jay never made me cry.
Ever. And Tupac did that in 5 short years. The man only had a 5-year run, bro.
If I pull up and I'm coming to go and I know I'm about to risk it all and I'm about to get life, I'm playing Tupac, Death Around the Corner, and I'm going to jump out and I'm going to shoot that motherfucker. Jay ain't
That's
gonna
all
give me
I'm
that
saying.
stage.
That's all. Now listen, and I'm with you. And I laid out that exact same argument. I said yes, longevity, niceness as an MC, politically, business wise, absolutely. Jay, absolutely, no doubt about it.
Because he had a longer time.
But
So it's about time.
influence, nah, it's not even close.
We're gonna let
It's
you.
not even
We're gonna
close.
let you go with it, brother.
Bro, it's not even close.
We're gonna let you go with it.
This dude did. He was basically a rookie.
Now, what I can say, in that little time, Tupac did so many movies, so many albums, so many features. If he was still alive, this would be a
Completely different game.
It'd be a whole
The
different
game would be
argument.
completely different.
It'd be a whole different argument. It'd be a whole different
That's
Well-
all I'm saying. Listen, everybody entitled to their opinion, and I'm a Jay-Z fan, bro. I
I
think
get you.
T don't think I'm a Jay-Z fan. I really am.
I get you.
But
So
I'm a
yeah,
bigger
man,
Pac fan.
we gonna cut that out right now before Rome get to going in on Tupac versus Jay-Z. J-Nutty, man, I just want a couple things that I want to say before we end this, man. Is first and foremost, I appreciate you so much for just being here on our podcast and sharing your stories. I'll tell you this: there is many things that I thought I knew that just from this short podcast I didn't know. So I appreciate you sharing that with us and all the people. I gotta shout you out again. Irrelevant. Listen, if y'all don't have it, I'm telling you, get on whatever platform you need to, download it, stream it, do what you got to do. It's classics.
It's on all platforms. It's on all.
Yeah, it's classics, and it's Detroit music. And I'll tell you this: that I think that for me personally, I think you're one of the best storytellers that has dropped anything recent and your past stuff. And I think a lot of it has to do with, I know like some of the things that you talk about, and I'm one of those people who when I hear it, I research it, and I'm like, this dude is really telling, this is a real story, but the way you portray it, great storyteller, man.
Thanks,
I
bro.
appreciate that.
Thanks.
And you got the party joints, and you got the hood joints, so you got everybody rocking. You using samples for the old heads, you using stuff for the new school, your daughter, Once again, golfers clap to her. Amazing young lady.
Power Move J.
And
Power Move J.
yeah, man. So that I definitely my shout out to end the podcast is I want to shout you out, brother, for everything you're doing, everything you're doing for Detroit, everything you're doing on the business end. We appreciate you, brother.
Oh man, I love it over here. Y'all big up at me,
No,
man. Come on now.
It's real love, man.
I might
We've
go in
been
the
rocking for a
studio
long
tonight,
time,
nah.
man. We've been rocking for a long time.
I feel
man.
like
It's,
I feel like TJ introduced me to J-Nutty. Today I feel like I know J-Nutty. So I appreciate that.
Thanks, bro. I
Yes,
appreciate
definitely, man, definitely. And with that being said, man, thanks everybody for coming and kicking it, man. And it's been another great episode. It's been another vibe, man. I love this. I love this. This is what it's about. This is why we do it for. So shout out to JC's Quality Construction. Shout out to 8 Mile Vodka. Also, like Nutty said, man, go check his spot out. Go get you a little smoke or maybe an edible. Chill for a little bit. Get that VIP.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Man.
His daughter's got the clothing thing going on. That's
Disparate mentality.
Or disparate.
Yeah, disparate mentality. Go. You can look it up at Disparate Mentality Apparel. You know what I'm saying? And then it's disparate mentality 1 at gmail.com. She got her website up. She got lady jogging suits. She doing her thing, man. She just shout out to Power Move J. Shout out to my number one fan, my father. He always been rocking with me.
That's what's up.
He know all the songs. He can quote lyrics on my album.
That's what's
You know what I'm saying? So.
And we're gonna post on the Beyond the Tracks podcast at Beyond the Tracks podcast on our Instagram. We will be posting all these things that we're plugging in right now. Y'all, y'all see everything. We'll keep y'all informed and everything that's going on. So. With that being said, man, Jay, thank you so much for coming.
Thank y'all for having me, man.
And that's been another podcast, man, the Beyond the Tracks podcast. I'm your boy TJ the Mayor.
Boy, are easy.
It's your man DJ Big Mike.
And J-Nutty.
And we out, man. Peace.
Later.
We out.